Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my sound. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Lunchtime with Late Sports, episode 3. So it's going to be a lot of fun going to be talking about some interesting stuff later this week, today. But before we get into it, if you guys are new, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure to ring that notification bell so you guys will not miss any of the upcoming content to the channel. That being said, let's kind of hit right into it. The first topic on the docket, Matt Araiza. Obviously, Matt Araiza. What up, Key? What's good, Arku? But Matt Araiza, obviously, he's getting a tryout with the Jets. I think overall, this is a really good thing for Matt Araiza after, all the shit that he's been through. And, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, you know. Don't want to go any further detailed. But before we get into the Jets getting a tryout, I think his overall situation, Matt Araiza, or for those who don't remember, as known as the punt god that the Buffalo Bills drafted, and obviously, had worse, let's be real, false allegations going against him, and pretty much costed his career, pretty much. Well, not in the way you would think, like a guy like Brian Banks, and stuff, and guys like that, But overall, I think in this whole situation with Matt Araiza and this false allegation bullshit. Honestly, I think this is why a lot of times I feel like athletes need to stay away sometimes from these Instagram models and shit like that. And in the case of Matt Araiza, I highly recommend you guys read up into it. I think overall, it's just, I think he was just done so wrong by this one. And shout out to my microphone for actually putting out a video talking about this. From what I took away from it, it's just like this young, underage girl try to be clout chasing, for a lack of a better term. And a lot of times, and unfortunately, it didn't work out so well. That's all. It's getting to the point where it's like, where I've always had my criticisms with women and athletes, because they're always they're like they're leeches. Hate me for all you want. That's the term I'm going to be using. Not just mostly Instagram models, at the same time, especially IG models. I mean, remember the situations like with PG Washington and Brittany Renner when that was going on. And I've always thought, that sometimes athletes need to stay away from women like that because they're just money hungry leeches. And no one in the case of Matt Araiza could have potentially had a, I wouldn't say not a similar outcome as Brian Banks, but could have had his, unfortunately had his career, cut short before he even got started. That out of that way. But yeah, the Jets are giving him a tryout because I mean, this like I said, this girl pretty much costed this dude's. Well, we'll get to that. Because we got some NBA and WNBA to talk to us later on the show as well. That being said, I think this is good for the New York Jets to give a guy like Matt Arisa a look at, a tryout and a look at, because I think, I really do think, where I think he needs to get his. Well, I'm just not saying Matt Arisa, but hopefully they'll help him get his career back, restarted, and try to make a living in the NFL. And that's why I think a lot of times I really hate to see guys like Matt Arisa, Brian Banks, for those who remember when that situation went down. Probably there's another guy that I'm kind of thinking of that's been in that similar situation, where, with false allegations, pretty much, I would say won't blacklist you, but I would say, kind of turn a different perception. The court of a public opinion might change, and it's funny. I'm saying that's funny, but when I first saw the situations, like, I really didn't think, because like I said, I don't know Matt Arisa personally. I didn't know what the hell was going on, but when I do reading like the updates and stuff like that, knowing that this shit, that was, was fabricated and stuff like that, that really made my blood boil. In a way, like, you pretty much costed this dude's career before he even got started off the ground, because you're under the age of 18, decide to do some stupid shit in the way that it is. I'm sorry, like, so many. I've always learned, like, if you don't have the common sense that nobody gives you, stay the hell away. It really is that simple. But then again, knowing college parties, it's a hard thing not to really get really used to, try to get away from. And that's what happens with this underage girl. Unfortunately, what occurred according to the some of these articles and like law and documents that came out. And people are asking, like, what's going to be the repercussion? Is there going to be any action taken against her? If I'm going to have to really say, I'm going to say no, because it's kind of hard to. But I will say this: I think Matt Arisa should try to find a way to find legal action against her. And pretty much, and get this settled. Well, obviously not get this settled. We'll settle for Matt Arisa, but get this done and over with. So if this happens again, and this needs to, like, set a precedent. Yeah. Well, I guess when you've been out for so long, it's kind of hard to and that's the thing too. Like, I think a lot of times people tend to forget after the first situation or the first thing that came about with Matt Arisa, like, he just seems became forgotten on the wayside. But obviously, it's good to see the New York an NFL team, especially the New York Jets, giving Matt Arisa a tryout. It would have been nice to see the Eagles get the punt guy, but that's besides the point. But that's just kind of funny. But I think it's good enough for Matt Arisa to try to get this career back, restarted, and and try, like I said, try to make a living. I think overall it's just very unfortunate, of what occurred with Matt Arisa, even though, let's be real, it's a bunch of bullshit. Because I will say a lot. I do have some thoughts on, well, in a way, money leeching women, but that's going to be another story for another day. Speaking and going into the case of John Morant, though, yeah, I mean, look, you got to. Sometimes I feel like John Morant needs to like I said, Arco has to calm the hell down. And to be honest, I really think, and the fact that he had to do a welfare check, that's obviously from that his one Instagram part of his Instagram story, but it's just, I think he's got to realize you don't want to throw your career away, because, dude, you're making a ton of money in the NBA at the same time, and it's just like, it's something's got to. Sometimes he needs to smack his upside the head, figuratively speaking, because you don't want to, like I said, you don't want to throw your career away, and dude, you're going to be missing out on a ton of money that let's be real, the Memphis Heroes are paying you, and I was like you're Dylan Brooks, but that's a whole different situation. Yeah, well, Dylan Brooks pretty much ruined. I would say that. Well, you go through the same argument with John Morant, kind of ruined the image of the Memphis Grizzlies. Um, like I'm not gonna really speak too much about it. Like if he's actually wants to do what he needs to be doing and actually learn from his mistakes and not do it again, then that's a whole different. That's a different perception that I will take on John Morant. I think John Morant is still a phenomenal player. Don't get me wrong. Look, don't get me wrong. John Morant is still a phenomenal basketball player for the Memphis Grizzlies. It's just the off the court issues need to change. And actually, and let's be real, needs to surround and a lot of times have to get yourself in a better, crowd of people. That's all I'm saying. I think overall, though, and speaking of the NBA, I think shout out to this has been kind of going around social media, and shout out to credit to Shams Charania for bringing this to most of NBA's fans' attentions. So the NBA competition community are considering penalizing for flops. Now, honestly, this is kind of a no-brainer. Should have been. Well, let's be real. I haven't really spoke about this, but this is gonna be the first time I'm talking about it. I really do think this is a no-brainer by the NBA because let's be real, we have guys. Well, LeBron, I'm looking at you, motherfucker. Like you're not even off the hook. For flopping. And Embiid, yeah, Embiid, you're not off the hook either. Dude, you flop too. So I will hold that against Embiid a little bit. I will say that. But yeah, so they're going to consider the flops as a technical free throw, but they're going to do a trial run to do at the summer league and see how that goes before they implement it. Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. Harden too. Harden, you're not even hard. Well, Harden's not even off the hook either. So, because I mean, with all that shit that's been kind of going on, everyone tend to forget about Harden. Well, especially in terms of my Sixers, anyways. But like I said, I want to talk more Sixers as well later on at 7:30 with Sean Barnard. So you guys don't want to miss that as well. I really do think this should have been taken care of a long time ago, but it took this up to this year to finally considering it. But I think overall, I think this is a no-brainer, but a no-brainer move by the NBA. Even though, as much as I know, we kind of criticize Adam Silver and a lot of shit sometimes that let's be real, he doesn't really do as much. But I do think this is one of the better moves that he's done. And even though the foul baiting too, at the same time, I will give him credit for that. But it's just now finally with a lot of times with people who are known for no floppers, finally need to get penalized for that. So I'll leave it at that. But going on for forward, obviously the WNBA really for a lot of teams off to a good start, others not so much. In particular, if you're a Fever fan, like I said, yes, I know it's early. You're down 0-2 early. Let's be real. After you're got your ass whooped by the New York Liberty. Well, let's be real. Brandon Stewart. She's still look. I think the Seattle Storm. I will do the recap between my Aces and the Storm in just a bit. But I will say this too: the New York Liberty. I'm intrigued to see what this team's going to be doing once they get that chemistry all together. Because I really do think that team's going to be very, very good, especially in the Eastern Conference. But I think overall, though, I just think, Stewie just, Brianna Stewart just knows how to, ball better than the best of them. It's much I know most people hate on the WNBA for obvious reasons, like say, oh, they can't make money. It's kind of hard to see, well, in a way. That's kind of like the one big argument. But I will say this too about the WNBA. Yeah, I mean, look, they may not, but they at least know how to bring in a decent fan base. I will admit that. I've seen times where, teams like the Indiana Fever, the Aces, Storm, like you name it, all the WNBA teams actually know how to draw a crowd sometimes, which they can do. And I think overall, it's just let's be real, how much I really hate people well, mostly guys, anyways, criticize because like you don't want to see people said, oh, like this. And the one thing that really rubs me the wrong way is the fact that I've seen one comment. This was a couple of years ago, saying like that, even though this league's been around for 26 years, actually. Yeah, I'm pretty much as old as yeah, that should tell you I've been old. I'm old as the WNBA itself, so I'll leave it at that. But I will say, the one comment, or I think someone made one comment on social media, which let's be rubbed me the wrong way. Pretty much the fact that said, like this league should have ended, and I pretty much clap back. So, you're gonna say you're put these women out of a job because let's be real, this is how they make their living. It's a bunch of bullshit, like how actually not say selfish, but how sexist men can be. Well, let's be real, that's kind of everyday life. But in terms of being a sports fan, yeah, that's what really rubs me the wrong way. It's how people, or sometimes people, should or really saying it's like, oh, the WNBA should have just been done and over with after 25 years. It's like, and before I even clap back, pretty much say, and I didn't clap back, I will admit that, kind of defending the WNBA because let's be real, like what else can these women do? Like these are trained athletes. It's hard to, and I think a lot of times I think non-sports fans need to realize athletes are creatures of habit. And that's a hard thing you do not want to do. It's a hard thing as an athlete you do not want to do. Who is the Nuggets mascot, by the way? I'm always curious about that. This ought to be funny. But still, I mean, look, I enjoy for what it is. I think let's be real, I think the women put on better games than the men's because let's be real, it's more competitive that way. Less ticky tack fouls. I mean, you'll see a few here and there, but it's more competitive that way. But that's all. That's all I'm saying. It's. I want to see who this Nuggets mascot. Super mascot Rocky. Okay, that's not too bad. I don't mind it. It's like a mountain lion. All right, I'm okay with that. Then again, though, I've seen some weird mascots where I think, for some of these teams, like it's like, what are you thinking? Obviously, oh God, I'm drawing a blank on some of these masks. But yeah, I think overall though, it is crazy to think a lot of what do you call it? Some of these mascots, it's like it makes you think. Yeah, there's a lot of teams mascots. I think it's like it makes you think like, what are you thinking? Like for me, like the Colorado Rockies, with the dinosaur, I don't really understand that, but like I said, I've never been to Colorado, so I really don't know. The Rockets, oh Jesus. I mean, take it from us. I mean, we got Gritty for the Flyers. It's like, what do you think? What is this? I think when Gritty first got introduced, it's like I was just scratching my head. Oh man. Oh, I gotta see this. Because I mean, it's like it gets you thinking. It's like if you're going to like call yourself like say, oh, the Timberwolves, actually, or something like that. At least needs to have the same animal to represent what you're thinking. That's let's see what the Rocket. What the? Why, Houston? Can we have a little bit of a discussion? Why do you have a mascot that is a bear, for crying out loud? Honestly, you should just have the shape of a rocket, for Christ's sakes, and you're called the Rockets. Now the Astros, they get a bit of a pass because obviously you got orbit, which makes a little bit of sense. But still, you could at least have like a rocket themed. Wait, who is it? Oh, I gotta see Thunder mascot. Okay, that does make sense. Rumble the Bison. Even though that does kind of make a little sense, but regardless, it makes sense though. They get the Thunder and Herd. Shit, that's actually it's a really good thing. But before we, off the little bit small topic of mascots, but going over, because for those who know that look at last year, I've done most Aces games last year as well. Obviously, game one between my Aces and the Seattle Storm. Well, let's just be real, it's been mostly one sided, and that's in favor of the Aces. After Becky Hammond apparently was alleged for bullying, even though I don't think that's kind of true. And look, I love De'Arca Hamby. I think she was a phenomenal player for this for this Aces before we traded her to the Sparks. But to say that Becky Hammond was bullying you because of your pregnancy is a little sketchy to me. I will say that's a load of bullshit that you're spewing. Unfortunately, the league saw it that way. Unfortunately, suspended Becky Hammond for 2 games. And to be quite honest, I don't really think it really affected the way that the Aces played. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, the Aces, overall, let's be real, whooped the Seattle Storm 105-64. And literally looking at the box score here, you had your starting 5 with Candace Parker, Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, and Jackie Young. Wilson with obviously had a 13-13 game, 13 points, 13 boards. Candace Parker, not too shabby in her debut. 12 points, 4 boards, 5 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks. Kelsey Plum, look, whatever she does, she's just a complete dog. 23 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal. That's kind of obvious. She's a 20 plus per night type of scorer. That's kind of how she plays. And Jackie Young, I think a lot of times I told some WNBA fans, try not to sleep on, if you're not a fan of the Aces, don't try sleeping on Jackie Young. The way that I say it, because I say that because I think Jackie Young's just one of those players that, you may not know that she's there. She can be very impactful, and when you really need to, try to draw the attention off, like I said, off Kelsey Plum, Gray, Asia Wilson, and Candace Parker. She will be that kind of like a silent assassin, especially from 3. Look, 23 points, went 3 for 4 from 3. Obviously 4 or 6 from the free throw line would go along with 23 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. That's kind of who Jackie Young truly is. She may not be like a big name, like I say, like a Candace Parker, that kind of thing, but she will be that kind of player where she will draw that attention off. If you think in football terms, she's like, wide receiver, like the slot receiver, kind of really take the pressure off your wide receivers 1 and 2. That's the way I look at it. And Alicia Clark, I like what I've seen out of her. First woman off the bench. 4 for 5 from the floor, 2 or 3 from 3 for 10 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. But those may not mean much. But she's kind of been very impactful as well. Same with Kayla George, I apologize. Got to see her a little bit on display as well against the Storm. And speaking of the Storm, you had Kia Nurse, Joel Lloyd, Turner, McNamara, and Mercedes Russell. Honestly, the Storm, it's going to be an interesting season to see how this team does or fares well without, since you already lost Brianna Stewart in this past off season. And which, let's real, should have get that one, pay Brianna Stewart to stay. But then again, I think Brianna Stewart wanted to try her places elsewhere. Regardless, right now the main scorer was Jewel Lloyd. Obviously, had a lot more pressure on her shoulders to be that leading scorer, or I'm gonna say leading scorer, but be that point guard that that's kind of filling in the shoes that Brianna Stewart left behind. Obviously went 22 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks. Went 7 for 20. As a team, not too good. Went 25 for 78 at 32.1%. from three, it's just not. Like I said, it's just been mostly one-sided between the Aces and the Storm. Storm, as a team, went 60% from the free throw line. Overall, shot almost 24% from three. For the Aces, overall went 40 for 73 at 50, almost at 55%. Shot 61.1% from three and went 8 from the line. 82 overall played or shot, 82.4 early on as a team from the free throw line. That should it's like I said, there's no much more of a one-sided matchup than the Aces, and we all know. It's not bad if you're a player, but this is as a team. Because I mean, if you look at it, Joe Lloyd went 3 for 8 from three. Kia Nurse went 0 for 1. Yvonne Turner 0 for 1. Ezzie McNamara 0 for 2 from three. Like 5 for 21. Oof, that's not great. It's an okay, but as a team, it's at 24% as a team from three. That is terrible. And most of their starting five and their bench were in the minus. That's not great. And like I said, this matchup was just pretty much one-sided. I mean, think about it. Las Vegas put up 18 in the first, 25 in the second. Coming out of the half, put up 62 in the final two quarters combined. And that's saying something of just the talent that the Aces, still kept the core from the championship team. Yes, minus lost a few pieces. Teresa Plaisance, Dearica Hamby, and some other smaller role players that haven't really got a chance to play. But overall, I mean, acquiring Candace Parker, which is fucking crazy to believe. Alicia Clark, I think she's always been a very nice piece. A very nice piece to the bench, anyways. Which let's be real, couldn't, actually we're filling in the role that's what Teresa Plaisance left behind as kind of like the sixth woman off the bench. Kayla George, I really don't know too much about her. For what I've been, seeing, her record, she has a resume that's has done well in the Australian basketball leagues over there. Kia Stokes, there's really not much to complain about here. She's a very nice, backup center when you have to either get Wilson or Parker off the floor. Right now, the only one that has the only injury that we're still dealing with is Raquana Williams with a lower back injury. So that's has to be monitored. But regardless, I really do like how the Aces played, despite the fact you didn't have Becky, like I said, and that's going back to what I said, when Becky Hammond got, the league suspended Becky Hammond, like this team did not miss a beat. We have a really good, deep coaching staff that can really help. And plus, not just that, also the same type of core players that we had from our championship year. Going into their next game, because now we're on the road again. Actually, we're staying in the West Coast on the road to Los Angeles, California, taking on the Los Angeles, the LA Sparks. Overall, I mean, both 1-0. Sparks coming off a really nice win. Let's see. So obviously that's brutal. Obviously preseason. So I mean, overall coming off a win against the Mercury, 94-71. I think overall though, yes. I mean, in terms of the point, if you look at as a team points wise, Aces right now, that might change going throughout the season. Right now at 105 points per game. Overall shooting 55%, rebounding at 50%. Has 22 total assists, 8 total blocks, 6 total steals for the Sparks. Sorry, Key. I know this is gonna be a good game tonight. I really like. I'm going to be excited. Hopefully, this game will be as good as advertised. Because let's be the last few meetings we had with the Sparks, we whooped that. Aces pretty much whooped that ass. Basically, sorry, Key. I really had to really put that on blast. So, but for the Sparks, though, as a team combined for 94 points, 71 whatever. Overall, field goal percentage, not great at pretty much almost at 40%. Has 32 total rebounds compared to, let's put the 50 for the Aces. And that's kind of what we've kind of been known for, is to beat you on the, what up, Cauldron? But yeah, overall, we have the personnel to beat you on the glass. I think that's a lot of times, I really do think that's what I like, because I got started in the WNBA last year. Haven't really done as much, but like I said, I want to do a lot more Aces games this year. Because it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, summertime's going to be a lot of fun for this channel as well. At the same time, going in right now, for those who are just coming, we are previewing my next game tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern time, 7 o'clock Pacific. My Las Vegas Aces taking on Keys, Los Angeles Sparks. Overall, like I said, obviously Vegas right now is pretty much the better rebounding team early. But like I said, that might all change throughout the entire course of the season. Sparks as a team has 32 total rebounds, 2 total blocks. So obviously they don't really have like the center spot. So they're not really known for their blocking, but where they have most of their advantage is in the steal category with 10 total steals as a team. Overall, both teams, let's be real, both won in convincing fashion. Like I said, the Storm, well, it's kind of hard to really describe like how it was pretty much a slaughter of the Seattle Storm is basically what it was for my Aces. And the Sparks, coming off a convincing win against the Phoenix Mercury, I think it was at home at the that doesn't sit well with me. Bring it back to Staples Center. Damn it. It's still the same freaking building. Just why the hell did you have to rechange it? Regardless. And looking at this game as well. No, actually, no, that's not it. Go to the box score. So, the Storm or the Mercury, that's not really much to go off of. As a team, shot 24 for 59 at 40.7%, shot 30% even for 6 of 20 from 3, 17 for 20 from the free throw line. And Brittany Griner was pretty much their leading scorer at 18 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and I had 4 blocks, so that goes along with that. But looking at the okay. So looking at the Sparks, I'm trying to get a familiarity with this line, the starting 5, with Jordan Canada. What up, Greg and John? Which Canada, Lexi Brown and Larisha Clarendon, Jesus Christ, and the Agumake sisters. But the one person I see out on this roster that I really hope my Aces look out for is Zaya Cook. Now, Zaya Cook, for what I've seen her in the short sample size, she can score better than anybody. That's a lot of things too that the Aces have to take a case, have to watch some film on her. Overall, coming off the bench, 14 points, 2 assists, 1 steal, or 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 steal. Went 5 of 6 from the floor, 2 of 2 from 3, and obviously, got only 2 free throws out of it. But you had. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be an interesting matchup. So obviously, I know this is not going to be the Sparks team of the last few years. Because look, Jordan Canada. Jordan Canada is decent, but not really something I would. Aces really have played really good defense against her. And same with Lexi. There's a times we have played well against, especially the Sparks. We've actually owned the Sparks. And from what I've seen, anyways, in my short time as a WNBA fan. And Lexi Brown, I think she could be a bit of an issue as well. She has, when I did a few matchups between the Aces and the Sparks, Lexi Brown at times when you leave her unguarded, she can, let's be real, especially on the from 3. It's not great. It's a little bit frustrating. I will say the Gumake sisters, they're very scrappy. I like what they bring to the table. And they're, and that's the thing too with the Sparks too. They have like two sisters actually. Yeah, the Agumake sisters and the Samuelson sisters, which is kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, so that's kind of my bit of a preview on that between the sport. I think overall, people are going to ask me what's your prediction for this for tonight. Honestly, I'm not entirely too sure. I think this might be like a battle to the finish. I mean, it might came to, I would say what 80. Well, see, I don't think the Aces will set enough for like 80 plus. I would see. I think the Aces would definitely will put up say 95. 95 86 is if I'm going to have to put up the prediction. It's going to be close. It might have to be separated by 9 points depending on if you looked at some of these the comparison of these rosters. Regardless, keeping on this theme of the WNBA, obviously we saw a lot of the first round, draft picks that got cut throughout training camp. And speaking of the draft too, because Key actually brought this up as well. I do think the WNBA has to needs to have their draft a lot earlier. At the same time, and the reason why I say that, and to Key's point, because we're seeing these women that I thought were going to make the team, and this is where I think the expansion has to come in. Well, you're like it doesn't make sense, and like you go from like the draft, you gotta get these ladies ready for training camp, like in a span of a handful of weeks before you do anything else, which is crazy for me. I really do think the WNBA should at least hold their drafts, I would say in late March to early April. And after that, let these ladies have time to get familiar with the surroundings, who the teams that they get drafted by, and then you start training camp, and you'll see what you got. That's all. I'll leave on that. But that's going into the NFL. At the same time, let me just do something real quick. Oh God, my neck. See, I'm not paying attention to that because I mean, I think Julio. Well, would I mind Julio? Probably not, I would not mind it because I feel like if somehow Quez Watkins or Alameda Zacchaeus doesn't work out, I mean, you can also have Julio in the slot. I mean, what harm can it do? I mean, if it's gonna be a dirt cheap kind of deal, it ain't gonna bite us in the ass. So we still got some money in cap space, pretty much. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of interesting to say, of how this team's gonna go. It's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, so going into the NFL, and I've really done this about it. Is the Eagles NFL? No, let me do this. Their 2023 schedule. So looking at that, all right, I'm just gonna do a few things. Oh. No, D-Hop, I don't know. Yeah, it's Julio that talking about here. D-Hop, I don't know what the hell's going on with D-Hop at the same time. And it's like the question is who wants D-Hop though? That's my biggest question. That needs a guy like him. I think overall, I really do think it's yeah, well, I mean, it is what, like, I can't complain about it. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. All right. And try to see if we can actually get this up, actually. Well, while we talk about that, I mean, overall, though, I like what I've seen so far throughout this entire off season and stuff like that. Oh, damn. All right. But I think overall, I mean, before we get into the Eagle schedule review, I don't know if anybody has not paid attention to this stuff. The New England, well, let's put it, the New England Patriots still, for whatever reason, cannot get out of their damn way. And it's like, yeah, so the New England Patriots, the Patriots lose 2 days of OTs for violating the all-season rules. So that's going to be interesting to see to the show. All right. So give me 1 second, guys. All right. So, but yeah, I mean, then again, though, it's going to be interesting to see how some of these teams do. I think the one team, I know this is kind of a bit of the, I'm going to be kind of like a hot take on this. You know, we know that the AFC South and the NFC South are probably going to be with the two worst division. I think we can all, that's a consensus. All we can agree on that. Now, who do I think is going to win the AFC South? I do think it's going to be the Jags, but don't be surprised if it's going to be the Houston Texans going to make a push for that, especially with all the moves. If everything goes right with the Houston Texans, you know, I really do think the Houston Texans can pose a threat to the Jacksonville Jaguars, because I think the only issue that I have with the Texans, gotta stay healthy. They've always, you know, haven't been healthy, and I think that's where, you know, what's the word? I think that's where. Well, then again, you also have poor quarterback play, and that's in Davis Mills. So hopefully, y'all can cut. You know, he's got to get his ass got to go. But we'll, like I said, we'll see how DeMeco Ryans handles his, with, you know, being a first time head coach. The NFC South, well, that's up. That could be a coin toss. Well, I will say a coin toss for. It's going to be called a coin toss for two teams actually, Carolina and New Orleans. But don't be surprised if Atlanta somehow makes a push. Let's be real, because that's a wide. Because you got two. Those are two wide open divisions, both in the NFC and the AFC. And I think that's a lot of times where I feel like, you know, well, let's be real. Does anybody want to not play for that? But that's not besides the point. Damn. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how some of these teams do. You know, not just from, you know, excluding our division, you know, if you're a Giants fan, Eagles fan, Cowboys fan. And speaking of that, which I forgot to write down my goddamn notes. Yeah, see, did not know that. I learned something today. Speaking of the NFC East, I forgot to write this down on my goddamn notes because I'm such a freaking moron. The Washington Commanders have to change their name again. And this is a lot. And I started cracking up when I read about this. The reason why they have to change it, because they put a trademark in application for the patent and trademark office, and that got denied. So we might have to see another rebrand for Washington. I was like, what are we doing here? Especially in the post Dan Snyder, before even the post era Snyder era begins. You had to change your name again, for the love of God. Like, damn, it's like you had all this time to think of a name. Call yourself the Commanders Lesbro, which is god awful, by the way. I don't care what anybody fucking says. And anyone says that's a good name, eesh, what the crap? What are you smoking? But regardless, you know, like, my thing is too, like, you could have called yourselves the Admirals, the Red Wolves. Those are two names that could have come to mind. Or stuck with the Washington football team. Whatever. Like, at least find something that's actually decent to brand yourself with. It's simple. It's like super simple. But I think overall, I'm really looking to see what this division is going to be looking like, especially for three teams. Because let's put the odd team out is definitely Washington. We can all agree to that. Well, I want to see the Presidents. That's kind of redundant. Well, I want to say redundant, but it's. I would say at least do something that's for me. I mean, the Washington Red Bulls. Like, I would not have. Yeah, that isn't the nation's capital. That is true. But I would rather have a team like a football team called the Red Wolves. I mean, that should put more intimidating, but still, and stuff like that. And the fact that, you know, I don't know, man. It's just, but yeah. So Washington, it's like, we have to go ahead and, Washington fans, and now but you still got time before the season starts. Don't get me wrong. But still, you had should have went with something different. Let's be real. Or just kept with for what it was. Now the way that I look at it, especially with the Washington, if they would say go with the Red Bulls, like actually have like a wolf logo, leave it at that. I mean, it's the way that I would look at it. Still keep the I would say do a bit of a different color scheme a little bit, like cut out the let's be honest, and also before you do a rebrand, for the love of God, build a new goddamn stadium, because let's be real, FedEx Field is that's a piece of garbage of a stadium that I've ever seen in the history of football or just in general that I think I have not been to, because let's be real, I don't want to have no stuff going on me, but that's besides the point. And look, it's just it makes no sense whatsoever, and it's we know we know, and oh God, does my nose itch? But regardless, all right, but shit, yeah, that is true. I was From what I've been hearing, I mean, you have the playing surface itself, like the grass itself. It's not let's be real. They claimed a lot of players over their times. Well, let's be real, in like the recent memory. Hurts almost getting squashed or getting knocked out or almost crushed by the bleachers or the railing. You had Joe Burrow, I think, tore his ACL. I think at one point on FedEx Field. There was a lot of injuries going on with that field. Sewer pipes bursting, the urinals bursting. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that went wrong with it. Now, speaking of keep more hot takes, or obviously not hot takes, but I can see a team that's very surprising, going to be interesting to watch. Look, that's what do you call it? I can't think of the word right now, so I'm drawing a blank right now. But regardless, I really do think. Let me just. Regardless. So let me just see if I can do this. But yeah, so this is gonna be. I think the one team. Okay, now I just got the thought back in my brain. The one team besides the Tech I talked to both the NFC, AFC and the NFC South, but the one division I think is going to be interesting to watch this year is the NFC North. We got to see how let's bro. We know Green Bay. For me, I do think it's going to be the odd man out, and the fact that that I didn't know. I didn't know that the Thunder's going to have a new arena. So, yeah, that's interesting. But it's going to be interesting to see. But going forward, stick with the NFL. So obviously, that's kind of the biggest talking point, but that's kind of get most people talking mostly is, oh boy. But outside of that, the one division I think is going to be interesting to watch. That's not a weak division. Well, could be somewhat competitive, but not great. It's the NFC North with, Chicago, Detroit, Green Bay, and Minnesota. I do think Minnesota's going to be competitive, but I just don't think they're going to repeat as division champs. I really don't think they will. Like, Kirk Cousins can give you so much at times, but when it comes to the postseason, like we've seen it, people just don't want to. Really? What's the, their defense still stinks. That's where most of the time they're going to get beat most of the time. But I mean, I think if you're gonna, they're not there yet. But well, I wouldn't say that. If everything goes right with the Chicago Bears, if Justin Fields steps up as improves as a passer with the weapons he has. Now we have to wait see how Darnell Wright does. But I do think the Bears want to have a somewhat improvement season from last season. Obviously getting DJ Moore, still having Chase Claypool who can actually get his head out of his ass, and Darnell Mooney can stay healthy. Eddie Jackson has to stay healthy. The defense is okay. Oh, well, like I said, I don't really. But yeah, so let me try to get some more. But that overall, yeah, Detroit was not bad, but you have to take into consideration some of the. I think some of their first rounders were kind of questionable. Reaching for let's be real, I had Jahmyr Gibbs as a early second rounder, but yeah, that is a good point. I could definitely see that if everything goes right. If Jared Goff has another good season, let's be real, reaching for Jahmyr Gibbs. Well, that's kind of been questionable. And speaking of, I got my fellow Canadian in the building. What's good, Randy?
What's going on, Rob? How are you, bro?
I'm good. Just enjoying this Thursday afternoon talking sports on the show. But overall, so I want to get your thoughts on it really quick before that I was talking about. The New York Jets are giving Matt Ariza a tryout after everything has gone on with him.
Ooh, okay. So, and who's that again? Sorry, who?
The punk god, Matt Ariza.
No, what team? What team's giving him a shot?
The Jets.
The Jets. Interesting. Okay. Because I've been following this a little bit closely, and recently, he's been kind of cleared of any wrongdoing in the sense that he was apparently not even at the party when this happened. So
yeah, that's right. I've always said this is why a lot of times athletes got to stay from people like that, because women are money. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, let me backtrack that. I don't want to sound like a fucking misogynist. So
no, I get it.
Yeah, but there's IG models and women like that are just money hungry leeches. I mean, look who remembers the situation with PJ Washington and Brittany Renner when that shit was going on in the NBA.
Yes,
to try to get it, squeeze him for every penny he's got. I've always said, stay away from actually get yourself a legitimate woman, not these let's be real, fake ass women. I've always will call them. but you're so true. You're so true to the fact of the idea that like you said, if you're gonna be, which these guys get word that they're gonna be drafted. If you get word that you're gonna be drafted, don't be going to no after parties and none of that, where there could be a chance of an underage girl being there, and then who knows what might be said, and then your career might not start off the way you wanted to. Like look what happened to Brian Banks. Who remembers when that situation went down? He could not get a job since then. Had to spend, I think, if I remember correctly, spent jail time could not get the years that he lost. And it's
I think you're right. If my memory serves it correct, I believe he did serve some time. Yeah. So there you go. Another wrongful thing. So it's you got to be very careful, especially nowadays. And like you say, I don't want to sound like a misogynistic prick, but people out there nowadays see your name and they know what you're about. They might be trying to get a payday too. So just be careful.
Pretty much chasing the bag, basically. It's
yes.
It's then again, not gonna lie, Randy, would have been nice if we gave Matt Ariza a tryout because our punter situation stinks.
I know. I was hoping so myself. I'm like, Aaron Sipos is not the option or the answer.
It really isn't. But and under that too, I don't know if you've paid attention to the New England Patriots lose 2 days of OTAs for violating the all-season rules.
What? I didn't see this. No.
Yeah, I think that was that was yesterday. I think.
Okay. So what did they do? Where were they having contacted practice or?
Let me see what ESPN brought up. So listen. Organized team activities. I don't know. They didn't really say what was the. They didn't say the decline of comment, so they don't know exactly what were the all-season rules. So that's kind of unclear. But they did.
Stardust. That is true. I am 100% Canadian. You hear a lot about.
Hey, you got your fellow. We got a fellow Canadian, Sidney Brown.
Yes, that's what I'm stupid excited for, man. That guy.
But yeah, I don't know if you guys talk about this on the pick and roll, but this is something you want to at least talk about on the pick and roll next week. The NBA competition committee is considering technical fouls for flops.
We didn't talk about this because this just kind of this report broke this morning. So we didn't, but you're right. We will potentially be talking about it. But this is interesting. I like this. I like this idea.
This is a no-brainer. As much as I know, I give Adam Silver a lot of shit as a casual fan. At least I will give him the benefit of the doubt for two things. One, obviously, for the change of the foul baiting and the clear path foul. Because let's be real, this clear path foul for me, as a basketball fan, I just hate the clear path foul. It's just so fucking stupid.
Right.
But finally get some penalization for flopping. It's like, how long? Well, what took you so long? Because I mean, shit. Like I said, I had to call LeBron. Sorry, Embiid. I had to call you out too because I know you kind of partake in that. And it's funny because, I mean, look, I'm a diehard Sixers fan, but I will rip someone a new one. And I've done that. And I actually dropped a video on Embiid being lazy and complacent.
Right.
I will not. Well, I will try. Well, if I wasn't monetized, I would not hold back, but I had to do it. But yeah, but overall,
I don't know if you saw the game, Rob. Though I can't remember if it was game 2. No, it definitely wasn't game 3. So it was probably definitely game 2 when Jokic leaned his shoulder into LeBron, and LeBron was in the middle of the paint, and he flew all the way to the goddamn first row and got drinks spilt on him. And it's like, that was such an egregious flop if I've ever seen one in my entire life. Like, he literally flops and then throws himself backwards. Like, come on, this has to stop.
Well, yeah, and thank God for the competition meeting to finally get up on that. And I did talk a little bit some WNBA as well, because let's be real, because we whipped the shit out of Seattle. Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, it's all about one side of it's. We beat the Seattle Storm 105-64.
Ooh, no chance.
Hey, let's bro, your girl Kia Nurse, she didn't do shit.
She's not the same Kia Nurse that she was when she first broke into the league since her injuries, man. That sucks, but yeah.
I mean, overall, and not to mention, and I said this too, like this, it's going to be interesting of what the Storm's going to be looking like, especially without Brianna Stewart, who dropped 45 and 12 against the Fever a couple days ago.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
that's a lot.
That's what Brianna Stewart can do. She's a great scorer.
Holy, I did not know that. Holy crap. That's actually pretty dope. Okay, never mind. All right.
I mean,
I'll give respect.
Overall, as a team for the Storm, they shot 25 for 78 from the field. That's a 32% as a team, but from 3, 5 for 21, 20. That's at 24% as a team from 3.
Yeah,
their only lead score that was in double digits was Joel Lloyd with 22 points. Everybody else was they either had 5, 8, 7, or 2, and everyone else was in the minus. I've always talked about Jackie Young, who, like I said, I don't think people are really sleeping on her. Because I feel like she's one of those players, like, you may not know she's. And I put this in football terms. She's like that slot receiver who will take the pressure off your star players. Pretty much, she had 23 points. So did Kelsey Plum. So they pretty much combined. So we pretty much, quarters 3 and 4, but combined for 62 points.
Damn. And that's who plays tonight? Which game are you doing tonight?
Yeah. They're going to be playing tonight against the Sparks.
Sparks, okay, Spark. There we go.
So it's going to be interesting because it's not going to be let's be real, we kind of swept the season series against them last year because not to mention their head coach at one point. Because trust me, I tease Key a lot because we pretty much because she's a Sparks fan.
That's her team. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only. Because since Philly doesn't have one, so that we pretty much had to rely on other teams.
Fair enough.
Stinks.
Fair enough. Yeah.
because we actually kind of talk about, and there's been a lot of times of expansion. Because we've seen a lot of these WNBA first rounders get cut. I mean, because let's be real, and I've talked about, the draft should have been a lot sooner, like probably like late March to early April, because your training camp starts, late April or to almost early May. It's like,
Wow.
it's and I don't know if you guys ever talked this, but I mean,
how many games does the WNBA play? Do they play?
They play 40 now this year.
They play 40. Okay.
So so we're going into game 2, and we're staying on the West Coast for the at this crypto. To call it the Staples Center, that's just what it is. Fucking bullshit.
Crypto arena. I can't wait for a Canada team, man. As soon as a Canadian team comes up here, they had one on I think the 23rd of May, and it sold out here up in Toronto. Tons of people showed up, so there's definitely a want for it. Just whether or not we get one is the question.
Yeah, and it's the same here in Philly. Like, when are we?
Yeah. You think you guys would have one first before anybody up in Canada? So yeah, you're right.
I mean, because we already had the Sixers and stuff like that. I mean, we do have a professional lacrosse team called the Wings.
So we
have
the Calgary Roughnecks, the lacrosse team up here too. So yeah,
really?
Share the same arena with the Calgary Flames. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you,
and then the CFL starting up now.
Florida Panthers going to the Stanley Cup Finals. Like,
bro. If there's one thing that I want people to know about myself, it is that, like, one, I'm a diehard fan of all sports, right? So if my teams don't make it into the dance, let's say, or make it to like the finals or whatever in any sport, it sucks. It's hard for me to swallow, but it is what it is because I am just a diehard fan of the sport. To finally see the Denver Nuggets and the Florida Panthers get to the spot that they need to, it just puts a big shit grin on my face, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. Because I also hate the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then Florida beat the Maple Leafs, so.
Yeah, that is true. But
they beat Boston. Jesus. And they were down 3-1 in that series. They were down 3-1.
Games of the regular season. How bad did you have to shit the bed so badly? Like, I
know, Rob. I picked them to win it all, man. I thought they were going to take it all.
For me, I got Vegas winning it all.
Now, yeah, I got Vegas winning it all now. Yeah, exactly.
Because, I mean, jeez.
But look at that trade, though. Look at that trade, Rob. The Flames, the Calgary Flames made a trade with the Florida Panthers last year at the end of the offseason. We sent Matthew Tkachuk to Florida, and in exchange, we got Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, Nicholas Schmidt, and their first-round draft pick this year. And look what happened. They ended up going to the Cup final this year with one guy from our team.
And as an 8 too in the postseason.
Yes. And that's what I kept trying to tell everybody. In basketball, it's a little bit different, but for the most part, basketball and hockey are the same. If you get a go against an 8 seed, you better be careful because that team could go all the way. Yeah, and look at the Heat and look at the Florida Panthers. 2 East Coast teams going to the finals. Love it.
Carlton.
Right?
And so whoever did, man, they be smoking that good stuff.
You see, though, but the only issue with Boston, though, Rob, the only issue with Boston was they lost their goalie. That was it. That was their biggest Achilles heel. Once their goalie got hurt, it was Linus Ullmark. It was all over.
And not to mention, too, you pretty much ruined the opportunity of Patrice Bergeron, and he might even want out.
Yes. Well, did you see him after the game? Him and Brad Marchand were crying because they know that this is it. This is probably it now.
Yeah.
And not only Bergeron, but David Krejci as well. David Krejci came back.
I forgot he actually played for the Bruins.
Yeah. He came back this year to try one more time to get a cup. He said he really wanted one more. So yeah, you kind of feel for the team, especially after the historic year they had.
Yeah. It's
but
funny
just goes to show you, baby. Playoff start, it's 0-0. Everybody's new.
You start fresh, and that's why a lot of times, like, people, I troll a lot of fucking people. It's like, first of all, I mean, look, I know the Heat, offensively was not the greatest offensively, but once the playoffs, it's like you start fresh, basically. It's a different animal, and
absolutely.
And the Heat they are a really good. It's a really good playoff team. What we've seen in the years past.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, they're very gritty. They're scrappy. They're
and that is true. Yeah, the Heat are a team that's an anomaly. Like, it's
true.
I mean, think about it. I mean, you seen Boston. Well, let's be real. Thank God. Well, Hannah had no problems beating us, but for some reason have a hard time containing the Heat. For whatever reason, they have a hard time containing them. I think I've seen like in game one. I think Tatum will shot like 30-something% from less than 30% from three. Against the Heat, but against us was like 40 to 50.
Yeah, he was a high clip. Yeah.
What up, Mitch?
Yo, I'm working right now. What's up?
That's good, man. Not much, just talking some sports and shit like that. This is how the show goes.
We're just talking right now about the Heat.
Well, you guys don't have to be in a closet organizing shirts.
I was going to make a joke about it, but I was going to.
So
go ahead.
Make sure it's color coordinated, Mitch.
Well, color coordinated, and Mitch is coming out the closet.
Out of the closet like 3 times.
You should just hide there, and then when the kids come to scare them.
But yeah, Mitch, I brought this up with I told this to Randy throughout not that long ago, about 5 minutes ago. You got to discuss the NBA competition committee penalizing for flops on the Next Pick and Roll podcast.
Yeah, so James Harden is not gonna like that at all.
Oh, that's the other guy we forgot, Rob. James Harden too. We mentioned Embiid and
LeBron. Someone Arcu mentioned Harden earlier in the show, which
Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart's not. I think
Kyle Lowry, but Kyle Lowry does it more in the paint for drawing charges than anything.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I think who's going to have it worse is probably a Harden, Harden, LeBron, and Marcus Smart.
Yes.
Dude, LeBron's not going to be.
You could say Chris Paul to a point.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But Mitch, also too, I don't know if you didn't see this too. In terms of football, that the Patriots lost 2 days of OTAs for violating the all-season rules, and the Jets are giving Matt Araiza a tryout after all the shit that let's be real, he had to go through.
About freaking time, right?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, when we talk about the Patriots, what did they do in the offseason that they violated? Was it
they didn't
trying to contact?
I guess so. They didn't really say. They didn't really come out and say because they declined to comment on it. So
interesting.
It could be anything.
Yeah, it could be contract related. It could be, yeah,
Yeah, that is true.
Maybe they're hosting off facility tryouts or doing some plays, and remember you're not supposed to be hitting.
Like I say, it could be anything.
Yeah.
I could potentially see that could be a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
I've also talked about the interesting teams who I think is going to be teams that are going to be interesting to watch this year. Not besides the Eagles, I'm going to say the Houston Texans. I think they're going to I think they're going to try to make a push to win that. Let's be real, the weak AFC South because Tennessee. We don't know what direction they're going to go in. Indy
down.
That remains to be seen. Because right now the only 2 teams I can think can win that division is both Houston and Jacksonville.
Yeah, I feel like Jacksonville will definitely take a big step up this year, especially after the second half they had last year. But my anomaly for that division is definitely the Texans. I feel like this year with the coach and the players they got.
Because my hot take was I think I got Houston winning that division.
Ooh,
if they stay healthy.
Okay.
Well,
that's my biggest key. It's the health of their defense.
But don't forget about Calvin Ridley. He's back.
Oh shit!
So another,
but yeah, like I said, that's my hot take. But realistically, it's going to be the Jags going to be winning that division. They're going to be repeat champs.
And I hope I hope my fellow Canadian John Mechie can potentially see the field this year.
I didn't know he was actually Canadian. I did
not
know
that. John Mechie the third? Yeah. John Mechie the third is Canadian. Yeah,
he's Canadian.
If you want to know who else is Canadian, Rob, reach out to me. I know all the Canadians.
And by the way, I got a hot take. Trevor Lawrence will be in a conversation for MVP this year.
That's a positive. Ooh, you know what? I could see that actually. I could see that come to fruition. Underdog
you guys
Pearson.
know how much I don't like Trevor Lawrence. I call him Bo Callahan.
Yeah, you do. That's right. You do not like him.
Yeah. That is, oh yeah, I just actually
That's
funny.
a good-
I just watched Draft Day last week.
For the
Nice.
first time?
No,
Wait,
it's not for the first time, but
I've
I've seen him on more than a handful of occasions.
Rob, you got to watch Air.
Air, yes.
That's a good one. I like that.
I love that movie.
Dude, I'm gonna watch it again tonight after the wrestling experience.
Viola Davis kills it as Michael Jordan's mom. I don't care what anybody says. If that's how Michael Jordan's mom was, no wonder the guy's a stud.
Hey,
Yeah,
I actually found a Sixers banner for the playoffs in his closet. I'm keeping it. Fuck that.
But I also
My
talked about the
backdrop.
NFC North, because I feel like the one team I can see winning that division is probably Detroit. Because I think close second is probably Chicago if everything goes right for them.
Okay.
But I just don't think I think Minnesota's a good team, but how far can you go with Kirk Cousins and
Frauds.
They're taking a step back this year, Rob. The Vikings aren't going
defense
to be what we
stinks.
thought. Exactly. Look at how many games they gave up to 100-yard receivers last year. It's ridiculous.
I mean, look, the defensive line is okay. It's their secondary is god awful.
Trash.
Remember,
Yes.
they still got
Well, I don't
Reagan.
mind them
They
getting a
still got
wide
Reagan.
receiver, but you could have waited till like the later rounds to get one.
Mm.
And
Hmm.
that's my biggest nitpick with them. And also, too, you should have gone. Didn't even take a quarterback in this draft too in the later rounds. I don't think they did. Who's their backup though? That's my. Look at that.
Christian Ponder?
Let me check. I gotta check their depth chart to make sure.
Christian Ponder? It's gotta be, right?
Who?
Or Christian Ponder?
No, what team?
The
Vikings.
Vikings.
Oh. Yeah, I don't even know because they let go of what's his name a while back there.
Dalvin Cook's going to get released, so they're going to lose a running back.
Dalvin Cook. Yeah, June 1st.
June 1st.
Going to be interesting for sure.
Oh, yeah, this is not
It's
going. Yeah, their quarterback situation ain't great. Yeah, Kirk Cousins as a starter. Their second stringer is Nick Mullins. Good God.
Oh, that's right. I
And
forgot it was Nick Mullins.
And Jaron Hall's your third stringer.
Hollister. Oh my gosh.
Jaron
And
Hall.
remember the new rule now, Rob. This year you're allowed to have a third quarterback.
Yeah. Because, all the 49ers want to bitch and complain because, that's your fault for not carrying an extra quarterback, you bastards.
It's not our fault that you lost your starter, your backup, and then
Also,
all of a
don't
sudden
block
your
your
third
tight end on
string.
Hassan and Reddick, too.
Yeah, exactly. Blame Shanahan. Don't blame our Eagles for playing good defense.
I mean, in terms of the running back, so it looks like Alexander Madison might be the number one when Dalvin Cook gets released. That's going to save them $9
Alexander
million.
Madison's not a bad running back. He's been a very good serviceable back for them whenever Cook's been down. So
And their second string,
sure.
with the potential release of Dalvin Cook, so it's going to be Madison, Ty Chandler, and Dwayne McBride is going to be your three running backs.
McBride?
Oh, that's right. They got Deuce McBride.
Dwayne McBride.
Oh, sorry, Dwayne McBride. That's right, from UAB.
But your three receivers that they got, their first stringers is Avi, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, KJ Osborne.
TJ Hawkinson as their tight end. They got TJ Hawkinson
That
as their
still caught
tight
me
end.
off guard last year. Why the Detroit Lions even did that?
And then so they do it, and then they go on a huge winning streak.
It's a contract. That's the only reason why. They didn't
Right.
Plus,
pay him.
yeah, they didn't want to pay him, and plus they look what they did in the draft this year.
Yeah,
Hey,
I mean,
Detroit, can you give us Aiden Hutchinson, please? By any chance?
yeah, you'll be out of your goddamn money. They'll do that.
Please. We'll give you.
Even though I will
Derek
admit,
Barnett,
like,
and we'll give you. Who's the guy that sucks?
not really much because I mean we already cut guys that already stunk it up. We saw. I don't know if we saw that JC Arcega-Whiteside is now an Atlanta Falcon.
Oh my God, Umbrella Man.
Suck it, Blake.
What up,
Hey, what's
Dante?
up, Coach?
Got it. All things Houston with my boy.
Yes,
But yeah, I
everything
mean-
Houston.
They're obviously with their offensive line is pretty much Christian Darrisaw, Ezra Cleveland, Garrett Bradbury's their center, Ed Ingram, and Brian O'Neill's the right tackle.
Brian O'Neill's a really good right tackle. I like Brian O'Neill.
And their third stringer is Jackie Chen.
What?
For some reason,
Jackie
that's literally
Chan.
that's the third string right tackle, Jackie Chen. I am not kidding you.
Chen, not Chan?
Yeah, Chen. Chen.
Oh wow, that's kind of cool, man. That's kind of cool.
Didn't Jackie Chan pass away though?
No.
No,
I thought he did.
no.
The only big legend that passed away this year is Tina Turner. Freaking 2023
yeah.
Jim
go
Brown.
kiss my ass.
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown too, and also the whether it's
But quite a bit of people pass away this year already.
in terms of their secondary and their linebackers, you got Brian Asamoah the second, Jordan Hicks, Marcus Davenport. Oh, I forgot about the added Marcus Davenport. They're
Yeah.
Oh, they
other
got
linebacker.
Davenport from the Saints. Oh, okay.
Why am I finding
Andrew
all
Booth
these nice
Jr.
shirts?
But there's in terms of the corner, that's one of the you got Booth Jr. and Byron Murphy Jr. is their cornerbacks.
Oh, that's right. They went and got Byron Murphy from the Cardinals. That's right. I forgot that they signed him.
And in your safeties, you have Harrison Smith is your strong safety. Free safety is Cameron Bynum.
And Harrison Smith, that guy is still playing. That guy, whew.
Yeah.
I mean, his backup to that is John Metellus, and third string is Jay Ward.
What does the Detroit Lions roster look like now? That since they had to suspend a bunch of people for that betting,
that's
gambling.
Let's take a look.
Because I'm pretty sure their team is going to be a bit different for the first 5 to 6 games, which could hurt them too, even.
Looking in.
But thank you for Swift though, Detroit.
Yeah.
We almost got him for free, basically. We got the compensatory pick back.
Yeah.
And his contract is very friendly as well. So thank you, Howie.
And not the cap hit's not that much. So and plus we might even give a nice cheap extension.
That must just pissed off Miles Sanders. Here he gets drafted by us. He gets shipped out, and all of a sudden the Eagles are like, "We're going to trade for Swift and give him an extension." It's like, oh, thanks.
Hey, Rob, I got to tell you something hilarious. So I was at work going to the bathroom, and someone actually fixed the toilet. So I was like, "You fixed this toilet," and I watched it.
So in terms of the wide receivers, so you still have Amari St. So it's most likely with Jameson Williams being suspended, it's going to be Khalif Raymond might be the number 2 receiver.
Oh, Khalif Raymond.
So if Jameson Williams gets suspended, it'll be Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and Marvin Jones Jr. is your 3 receiver, your starting 3 receivers.
Okay.
All right.
That's actually not bad.
That's not bad at all.
But so in terms of the quarterback, I mean, I think Goff's going to have another good year. You got Hendon Hooker is right out slotted, projected to be his backup. Third stringer is Nate Sudfeld. Fourth is Adrian Martinez.
Sudfeld. Wow, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah. Brock Wright's their tight end. Their backup is Sam Laporta. I thought actually that was a really nice pick from Detroit, Sam Laporta.
So did I. Yeah.
Linebacker. See that's still not going to set well with me. That Jack Campbell was a reach for me. That's a huge reach.
That's right. They got Jack Campbell. I forgot about that.
They reached twice. Jameer Gibbs and Jack Campbell, who broke. I actually both in my mock draft that I done were mid-second. Well, Gibbs was more of an early. Jack Campbell's like more of a mid-second rounder.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just thank you for taking Gibbs. That's it. Just thank you.
Brock Wright's their tight end. Your fullback is Jason Cabanita. Taylor Decker's your left tackle. Jonah Jackson's left guard. Center is Frank Ragnow. Right guard, Halaputi Vaitai. God, I hate that. Yeah. Peninsula is your right tackle. But defense-wise, you have Romeo Akawara, Ali McNeil at your left defensive tackle. Isaiah Buggs at right defensive tackle. Aiden Hutchins, another right defensive end. Malcolm Rodriguez as your one-year linebackers. Still got Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, Cameron Sutton is their left corner, and Gardner Johnson is the backup.
Right. Cam Sutton, I forgot they had got Cam Sutton too.
Kirby Joseph is their strong safety. Tracy Walker III is their free safety, and Emmanuel Mosey is the right cornerback. Kirby
Joseph, isn't he from the Raiders? Or no, that's Carl Joseph. Never mind. Sorry, wrong guy. Never mind. Wrong guy.
Joseph, yeah.
And Brian, and he's another Illinois player that was taken as well.
Yeah.
Only
if they could stay healthy, I could see them winning 10 games. I could, honestly.
It's a possibility. 10 or 11 games at most.
Yeah. Especially how they played last year. I mean, Dan Campbell is a really good X's and O's coach in the sense that he knows how to get you fired up and he knows how to get the most out of you.
This team as well in the past.
So exactly.
But yeah, right now Brian Branch is pretty much the backup to Tracy Walker III. And
who did the Bears have for their offensive line? I'm trying to remember who their offensive line is. Did they not get a guy in the offseason?
I think they did get. I know they drafted the guy Darnell Wright.
Yes, they drafted Darnell Wright, and then I'm pretty sure they went.
I can't think of his name at the freaking moment. It's really pissing me off. It's really annoying.
Yeah, I know. I remember DJ Moore, but
organizing search is annoying.
In the closet.
Yes. I still be downstairs shooting hoops right now.
But I feel like the Bears are going to have a good year this year. They're going to surprise people.
I think they're going to have an improvement season.
Same here.
I think they may be a third. Yeah. I think they're going to be. I think they're going to. I want to realistically. I think they're a third place team at best because we know the Green Bay's. Oh boy, Green Bay is up. Is question marks galore.
Hey, I found a softball.
The biggest question mark is Green Bay. You're right, Rob. Yeah.
The offensive line consists of Braxton Jones at left tackle. Left guard is Tevin Jenkins. Yeah. Cody Whitehair is their center. Nate Davis at right guard. Darnell Wright at right tackle.
Okay.
That's their offensive line. Now, and they also have, in the running backs, they also saw Khalil Herbert. They also picked up Deontay Foreman that's in this offseason from Carolina.
Herbert from Family Guy, right? I'm just making that clear.
And they're start right now as this is what the projection. So their top three receivers starting is DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney at the 2, and Claypool at the 3.
Ooh, so they have receiver. Mooney at the 2, and they have.
And DJ Moore's the number 1 guy.
Oh, okay. I thought they would go DJ Moore, Claypool, and then Mooney as their slot. Oh, but okay.
And so, obviously, tight ends Cole Kmet. They also have in their other backups. You have Robert Tonyan, Jake Tonges, and Chase Allen is your second to fourth stringer.
Robert Tonyan's a really solid backup tight end. He was good for Green Bay.
Now, defense-wise, they have Travis Gibson at defensive end, left defensive tackles Andrew Billings. Justin Jones at right defensive tackle. DeMarcus Walker at right defensive end. TJ Edwards at linebacker. Tremaine Edmonds. The fact he even got him was fucking like, what? Right. Middle linebacker. Jack Sanborn at South linebacker? Strong linebacker? Whatever it is. Just another linebacker.
Sam linebacker.
Thank you. Because I will never understand. I know the middle linebacker, and I would never would have gotten that. So Jalen Johnson is their left corner. Jaquan Brisker, strong safety. Eddie Jackson, for the love of God, if he can't stay healthy, he's a solid player. At free safety, Collie Gordon's the right corner. I mean, overall, their defense, and obviously they also got Gervin Dexter Sr. in the second round.
And they have Eddie Jackson too, don't they?
Yeah, but he's got to stay healthy. That's the problem.
Yes.
They got it's a nice defense, but
Kirby Joseph, gotcha. Thanks, Coach. Yeah, I mistake them for Carl Joseph. I was thinking Carl Joseph from the Raiders. I got the last name's mistake, but thanks for the heads up, Coach. Appreciate it, bro.
In terms of the Bills, though, I will say this too with the Bills. I didn't mind them just taking a tight end, but do you really need another tight end, even though you have have Dawson Knox? That's I don't know about that.
Bit of a head scratcher, you say? Yeah.
But I can see why they need another weapon to take pressure off Stephon Diggs. So I can see that as well.
Do you believe any of the rumors circulating that Diggs might be on the way out?
I don't think so. There's no way.
Okay.
I can't wait for Stephon Diggs to go one-on-one with Trayvon Diggs. I cannot wait.
Oh, that'd be funny as hell.
Diggs, rolled by Diggs, for the touchdown.
But they're gonna say PI on Diggs.
But right now, as they're projecting their depth chart, James Cook's gonna be the number 1 running back, and they also brought in. I mean, they still got Naheem Hines as the 4th stringer. 3rd stringer is Latavius Murray. 2nd stringer is Damian Harris.
Yeah, they brought him over from the Patriots. Yeah,
Gabe.
He's a good running back. I like him.
And Dalton Kincaid's the backup to Dawson Knox, and he's.
I
would not be shocked if they go like a 2 tight end set with their play style.
My buddy just texted me. He's like, "Could you imagine if both Cook brothers end up playing for each other on the Bills?" And I was like, "No, don't."
I want that.
That'll be funny. Also, another pick that I really liked that the Buffalo Bills got Osiris Torrance from Florida.
Yep.
Now this is what they pretty much they're in terms of the base 4-3 defense is basically how they run it. Yeah, Greg Rousseau at left defensive end, Ed Albert at left defensive tackle, DeQuan Jones at right defensive tackle, Von Miller, if he can stay healthy, at right defensive end, middle linebacker AJ Klein, Terrell Bernard at. Okay, Matt Malone. Okay, let me go back. Matt Malone at Sam linebacker, Terrell Bernard at. He's another linebacker because I hate these S and L W linebacker bullshit. I don't know why. Tre'Davious White.
That's the fucking worst.
So that more, they're calling him more of like a slot. That's more of like a slot. Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
Tre'Davious White, left cornerback. Strong safety Jordan Poyer. Micah Hyde.
You just named 3 names right there: Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, and Tre'Davious White. All 3 of those guys have to stay healthy as well.
And Damar Hamlin's the backup, but right cornerback is Kyler Elam. That's their defense.
It's a good defense. I will say they're a good defense, but the issue with them is yes, always the issue is lately is that back end with Hyde and Poyer is whether or not they're going to be healthy.
Not just that. Even you had to make the same argument for Von Miller. I mean, how much does he have on the tires?
Yeah,
especially how is he going to be recovered? Especially how is he going to look coming from that torn ACL?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right, Rob. I actually forgot about that.
I mean, Shaq Lawson right now is the backup to Von Miller on the right defensive end.
Ooh, he's good. I'm not saying he's bad.
It's just we see how that defense goes because that's a bit of I mean, you saw that. Matt Mullen's like 28? Was he 28, 29 years old?
I want to think he's on the later end of his 20s, early 30s at the most.
Yeah, yeah. I think age might be going to be playing a factor into this defense. But then again, we have seen good defenses that are older that actually play really well. Behind Matt Milano is Tyler Maktovich or Matekovich. God, I really hate pronouncing names.
Me too. I hate pronouncing names. I'm horrible.
Especially for me, it's the Polynesian names that get me all the time.
Same, yeah. Or hidden syllables where I'm saying the letter, but it's not supposed to be said.
Oh yeah, kind of like Giannis.
Gumbo,
yes,
like one letter in there. It was like fuck.
Don't forget about Wembanyama now.
Well,
I like saying Wemby.
For me, I go Wembanyama. But yeah, no go.
So right now, I'm looking at our depth chart. We have projected DeAndre Swift as our running back 1, Rashad Penny 2, Kenny Gainwell 3. That's gonna be our 1, 2, and 3 combination.
I like that.
And then no Boston Scott until the Giants. I like that.
Oh man, that's gonna be a lot of fun. And I might go one of the. Actually, I might go to that Christmas Day. Right?
What? You might go to the Christmas Day game? Oh, that'd be sick.
I might, but the one game I'm going to is definitely the Cardinals game, just to boo the living fucking hell out of Jonathan Gannon. That's gonna be fun.
Oh man, you better shoot some shorts while you're there.
You know what you should do? Like seriously, no shit. You should pay for T-Rogue's ticket and everything so you can watch an ass beating.
That would be hilarious. Well, hey, you want to come with me so I can laugh at you the whole time?
So in terms of our offensive line, you have Mulata at left tackle. It's kind of obvious. Landon Dixon at left guard, obvious. Kelsey center, obvious. So it's going to be Cam Jurgens at right guard projected, and Lane Johnson at right tackle. And Tyler Steen will be the backup to Cam Jurgens.
I think
Steen,
from what I've heard, Tyler Steen could be in the first line. From what I've been hearing from Jimmy Smith and everybody.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was on Jimmy Smith's live the other day, and he says that he's hearing rumblings from inside the organization that Tyler Steen is impressing a lot of people, including Jeff Stoutland. But also, Don't forget about DJ Fluker too. There's rumblings that he potentially could be a fill-in as well.
Now, DJ, man, that'll be a
You
nice
guys see the
rotational.
pictures of him? He's huge, man.
Only at 32 is fucking crazy.
He's a massive man, and Jeff Stoutland apparently wanted him to come in, so that's huge too.
Who's bigger, him or Jalen Carter or Nicole or Jordan Davis?
Oh shoot, Mitch! I gotta send you a picture of DJ's arms. His arms are about as big as my fucking waist. He's like a huge man.
Even in his prime years, like he was huge during his prime years. Now, in terms of the defense, obviously we still got your usual stars: so Brandon Graham, Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Josh Sweat, Nicholas Morrow, and N'Kobe are going to be starting your projected starting linebackers.
Okay.
Sean Bradley is going to be behind N'Kobe Dean, so that's going to be nice as well.
What about Barnett?
Okay.
Barnett, he is behind Josh Sweat.
Okay.
Hassan Reddick at Sam linebacker, and his backup is Nolan Smith.
Nice. Okay.
James Bradbury at corner with Avonte Maddox. Behind him, Terrell Edmonds at strong safety, Sidney Brown at free safety, and Darius Slay at right corner. That's nice.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Terrell Edmonds is, for me, I'm excited to see because I think he had a really good year last year with the Steelers.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Rob, with the amount of money we have in our cap space, I think it's like $13.45 million. Do you go out and get somebody, trade for someone, or do you let it roll over to next year?
Well, it depends on what Howie wants to do. That's the thing.
Yeah, because I can't trust Derek Barnett. So me personally, I'd like to see the Eagles go out and potentially get Yannick. I love a Yannick Ngakoue here.
I know you do. What about Patrick Queen?
Oh, Patrick Queen's going to be a little bit more on the expensive. I like Patrick Queen, but he's going to be a little more the expensive end. That's
because he's going to want a contract. Yeah.
I mean,
he's going to want a big long-term one.
I would say if you wouldn't be more hell, if you're not, or think of this too, if you want to bolster up that defense, get Frank Clark. No one signed him yet.
Yeah. Same with Leonard Floyd. Guy that averages 99 sacks a year too.
We've been tied to him as well.
I'm not sitting here saying I want to build this glorified dream team like people have said in the past.
Because
I just want depth.
We're going to lose some key positions at the same time going into next year.
And I also know that some of these guys are going to be injured. Some of these guys are going to get some dings and nicks and stuff for that matter. So I'd love to have good depth behind these guys.
Look, and Jordan Davis and his in the second rotation, it's going to be Jalen Carter up.
Sorry, NFL.
I'm so excited for the defensive line. That's number one. That's my favorite position in the.
If something happens, let's say something happened during the game, and all of a sudden at the same exact moment, we have Sweat out there with Davis and Carter and Nolan Smith while Brown's on the back end, you're going to hear me screaming on the live.
I could imagine because, I really like how this team, the special teams, I could care less.
That's my biggest Achilles heel for me is this team is that damn special teams.
And so right now your three receivers right now it's AJ Brown, Smith, and Quez Watkins. So they projected Alameda Zacchaeus as his backup receiver to Brown, Devin Allen to Devontae Smith, and Tyree Cleveland to Quez Watkins. I would have thought Zacchaeus would be number 3 for me. That's where
I thought so too. Yeah, especially since he had better numbers last year than Quez. But okay.
I think Quez is staying. I really think he is.
You think you're going to keep him?
I think
so.
I really do.
Because I don't think he's and that's the thing too. I don't think Watkins is a bad receiver by any stretch of the means, but it's just there's some things he has to work on. His hands isn't that great. That's all. I think he'd be a nice, valuable slot receiver. Because right now your third stringer, as it looks so far for your 3 receivers, Greg Ward, Britton Covey, and Jaden Hazelwood.
Damn.
Oh my God, that's a funny name, Hazelwood.
And you got my boy Joseph Nakata from Clemson. It's gonna be he's gonna be interesting to watch as well.
Did you hear about this? Darius Slay wanted Julio Jones.
Yes, I've been seeing a lot of that. It's I think we're fine at receiver. But then again, though, anything can freaking happen.
I know
he's not gonna play the slot. That's the thing. I don't think he will play the slot.
Someone's gonna. But then
Yeah, and I
again,
don't
though,
want to ruffle any feathers too. So yeah.
and then again, he hasn't really has a, and that's another thing too. He's another guy I think that's would not mind having, but he has a bit of an injury history as well.
Yeah.
Jones.
Oh,
Julio.
yep. Yeah.
And has not been the same receiver since his Atlanta days. I'm sorry. I think ever since he left Atlanta, like you see his production go down.
Ever since 2015 when the Eagles whooped that ass.
Yeah. Well, in terms, if you look so far, we know that Hurst is going to be QB1, QB2, and 3. If it's projected right now, is Marcus Mariota QB2, and pretty much Ian Book's our third stringer.
Right.
But like I said, with that rule in place, it could, and Tanner McKee, right? We have Tanner McKee as QB number 4, if possible, if need be.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I like it. I like our depth at the QB room. I like Mariota. I love it. We've been tagged to that guy for so long.
and 8 years later, and deja vu, and we just stuck it up to Chip Kelly, which is kind of funny looking back at.
Right. Yeah.
We traded the entire farm for that.
Oh God, don't remind me of that.
I think we all want to forget. But Houston Texans, though, like I said, the one team that we have to wait to see how if everything goes well on paper, their depth chart's looking
pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
They just got
right now. They projected Case Keenum as our QB3. QB2 is Davis Mills. Obviously QB1 projected is CJ Stroud, with Dameon Pierce as running back 1. Robert Woods, Nico Collins, and John Mechie III are your starting 3 receivers. Now, your backups in the basically rotations are running back Devin Singletary, Noah Brown, Tank Dell at wide receiver 2, and Xavier Hutchinson at wide receiver 3 for the. You also got Amari Rogers as well. Tight end Dalton Schultz. And got entry back a fullback Laramie Tunsil he deserves the bag after having a really nice year with them. Kenyon Green, he's got to figure something out because that's kind of, for me, that's kind of my weak point with this offensive line for Houston is Kenyon Green because he was not great as well. You got Juice Scruggs, that's a nice name, at center. Shaq Mason at right guard and Titus Howard at the right tackle position. Defense, oh Jesus, if some of these defensive players stay healthy, you got Will Anderson, Malik Collins, Sheldon Rankins, Jerry Hughes, Christian Harris, Christian Kirksey, Denzel Perryman, Steven Nelson, Jimmy Ward, Jalen Petrie, and Derek Stingley Jr.
That defense could be good, man. That defense could be really good.
That's going to be right now, Denzel Perryman, I know he's been a bit of injury history. He's got to stay healthy. Same with Derek Stingley Jr. They got. And the rotation with at the left corner, they've got Shaquille Griffin as a backup to Steven Nelson.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's right. Okay.
And right now they have one guy on the IR, and that's Taylor Starworth. It's pretty much their 4th stringer. I forgot they also have Hassan Ridgeway as their left 3rd string. So yeah, Malik Collins pretty much is projected as the starting left defensive tackle with rotations with Kurt Hinch and Hassan Ridgeway.
Okay.
They also get and middle linebacker. They also got Harry Oh God, fuck! I hate Polynesian names. Dude from Alabama, the middle linebacker, Henry 2020. Oh God.
2022 or whatever. Yeah. That's right. I forgot
they
took him. They took him. I forgot that.
I mean, their punt returner is Desmond King the second. Kick returner Daryl Ugmawale. God, that's another thing too. I hate African sounding names too, and I really hate saying that.
I hate trying to pronounce them. They're so hard.
I gotta give a lot of credit to Houston though. First of all, trading up to 3 to get Will Anderson Jr. Oh boy, and you got your quarterback of the future. Offense was actually looking pretty nice. Dameon Pierce, Robert Woods. I don't think he's. I think he's going to be a solid, piece for them. But I don't think he's going to be like a long-term piece. If that makes sense. Nico Collins,
I know what you mean.
He's got to step up because he kind of fucked me the last couple of years in fantasy football, you freaking bastard. And John Mechie, please stay healthy.
Yes.
Because, the dude is such a phenomenal wide receiver. It's just that, what was that, torn ACL? What knocked him out last?
No, I think he had some, acute, Oh, he had he had a disease that he was diagnosed with, an acute leukemia, I believe it was, or something like that, and he had to like battle it.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so and then you're right, and then an injury on top of that, so he had to deal with that as well. So yeah. This year, let's hope the best for Mr. Mechie the third.
And I think another team that's going to be, hopefully that's going to be surprising and can be actually be good again. It's going to be Seattle. I'm going to be interested in what Seattle's looking like in terms of their roster. But then again, we all know that that San Francisco's going to win that division. But then again, I've actually heard rumblings that the Niners are pushing to have Sam Darnold to start week 1 over Trey Lance and while Brock Purdy's recovering from Tommy John.
Have fun with Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I will have to give Seattle that. They know how to grab some great players.
Like look at their corners now, and then you look at their wide receiver trio.
And Devin Witherspoon. Jesus.
Yes.
Safeties, Jamal Adams. Jesus Christ, that dude was fucking ass the last few years. Ever since he's like, I'm the best in the nation. And that too, when he was said, I'm the best in the nation, when that became a freaking meme. Just people made memes out of it. And Quandre Jakes is the free safety. And the fact they brought Bot and their linebackers, Jordan Brooks, Bobby Wagner, and Uchenna Nwosu is their linebackers.
Ooh, okay. See, their issue last year was defensive tackle. They could never stop the run. So I thought for sure that would be a spot where I was like, oh, definitely.
Their nose tackle is Brian Monet, with Draymond Jones at left defensive end and Jaron Reed at right defensive end. So their offensive line looks like Charles Clark at left tackle, Damian Lewis at left guard, Evan Brown at center, Phil Haynes at right guard, and Abraham Lucas at the right tackle, with Noah Fant as your starting tight end.
Noah Fant's good, by the way.
Oh boy, this is their wide receiver core. DK Metcalf at the 1, Tyler Lockett 2, Jackson Smith Njigba at number 3. God damn!
There, wow. Sheesh.
I'm surprised, and especially speaking of JSN, I'm surprised he fell all the way at 22.
Yes.
I think he was a top 15 receiver easy, or at least in the top 10 at least.
Wow. Yeah. See. Yeah. You're right, Rob. Yeah. Their biggest issue again is going to be defense. Seattle.
Yeah, their defensive tackle, because right now their nose tackle is, like I said, is Brian Monet.
And I forgot who's their head coach for DC.
What for Washington?
No, for Seattle.
Oh, Pete Carroll.
No, they're DC.
Oh, who? That's a good question. Who is their D?
Yeah, I forgot who their DC was because
try to be, who was a replacement for when we took Sean Desai and.
Fuck! Why am I drawing a blank on that? Oh, whatever. It's no worries off my ass. But as for Washington, man,
Norton Jr. That's who it is.
Horton Jr. Okay, there we go.
Or actually, no, it's. It's Ken Norton Jr.
Okay.
So
I don't know the gentleman,
and he's the son of Ken Norton, a former world heavyweight champion boxer.
Oh shit! Cool. Okay.
You know, he used to be a linebackers coach from because he also coached at USC from 2004 to 2009, then went to Seattle from 2010 to 2014.
Oh,
I think we used to have that. We had guys, a young Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, Malcolm Smith, Heath Farrell,
the Legion of Boom, yeah, Cam Chancellor type thing, yeah.
Yeah, they also coached for the Raiders, the Oakland Raiders at the time.
Okay.
And then coached for the 49ers, but then he returned to UCLA in 2022.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Wow. Well, best of luck to him. See, for me, I don't know a lot about the kid, so I can't really comment on him, but I don't know if Sam Howell is going to be the answer for the Commanders.
I've always said, ever since Kirk Cousins left, that team has not figured the quarterback position out.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And I don't know why they let that man walk, to be honest. Like,
and not to mention they had to change their name again.
oh yeah,
because the trademark fell through. Was denied.
Oh my God, this poor franchise, man. I tell you, they're fans.
Yeah, before they even start the oh man, what a way to start the post Snyder era. Good God.
Right.
And not to mention too, like Yuri declined the 5th year option. Well, then again, I think Chase Young might be out of Washington sooner rather than later.
I agree.
Oh yeah, that's right. And shout out to Cauldron. Yeah, played for on the '90s those Super Bowl Cowboys teams.
Oh, okay.
So right now it's Clint Hurt. Right now is the current defensive coordinator.
Gotcha.
Because I think, and I completely forgot about this. So Dan Quinn also actually was a DC from in Seattle from 2013 to 2014.
Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah,
I did not know that. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I didn't even know that either. I was oblivious to that.
I mean, right now, and Clint Hurt as a defensive coordinator, so far went 9-8.
Not bad.
And Kent Norton Jr. had a couple winning seasons. 2018, 2019 went 21-11 overall as a defensive coordinator, but obviously 1-2 in the playoffs, and went back in it again, 19-14. As a defensive coordinator. You also had Dan Quinn, who were 25-7 as a defensive coordinator. Good God.
Jesus.
Chris Richard from 2015 to 2017, 29-18-1. But that year, Seattle went 5-1 in the postseason under Dan Quinn.
Damn.
That's
impressive.
That is. Then again, but yeah. And then became a hit. But it's interesting to see what these teams are going to be looking like. Not just from our division standpoint, but seeing teams like Chicago, Detroit, and that for that matter, Houston, and let's be real. Yeah, two wide ass open divisions. That is the NFC and the AFC South. I've always said I think Seattle or New Orleans is going to definitely win that division, but don't be surprised if somehow Carolina takes that division behind Bryce Young. I would not be surprised if that was the case.
Yeah, same.
Because think about it. Now with Tom Brady out of the picture, now that you're pretty much fucking happy about that.
Yes, sir.
It's a coin toss for both division or for both conferences. It's like I've never seen it. Who remembers the one time when the both the NFC South was actually pretty good? Was that what that would have been what they're pre-2010s, if I'm not mistaken, too.
I was just gonna say, if I'm not mistaken, that was like pre-2010s, and they were scary good.
And now all of a sudden, almost like 10 or so odd years later, they're just hot garbage.
Just falling right off.
The best quarterback in that division is Derek Carr. That should tell you how bad that division really is.
Yeah, and the fact that man is on a list with, 29 turnovers in the last 3 years?
Yeah. And people said, and look, you really can't, and well, then again, Carr can get some of the blame as well, but most of the time, you can't really blame Carr mostly for his failures in Oakland. That's mostly on the coaching, and that mostly from the franchise failed him. Absolutely.
Never really gave him enough around him to flourish with.
Think about it. You had Michael Crabtree at one point, Aqib Talib on part of that defense. When you brought in Devontae Adams, let's be real, those years, had high expectations, but for some reason you shit the bed. That's like, how?
And bad too.
I had this team 9-8 or 10-7 at the most, but they went 6-11 or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You have all this talent and yet cannot meet expectations. Goddamn.
I forget the name of the head coach that they let walk out the dang door, and then now he's that was a winning culture there, and you just said screw it.
That's you were no for you. Trust me. I've did a lot of stuff with a lot of Raiders content creators. They don't like Mark Davis at all.
No way. They. And then now, did you talk? Sorry, Rob. Did you talk about the fact that Tom Brady is now apparently
he's a minority owner in my Las Vegas Aces and the Raiders.
Oh, the WNBA as well.
Yeah, he has a bit of a minority stake with the Las Vegas Aces.
Oh snap! How do you
And
feel
I actually
about
did
that?
talk about that too. You know how the Aces we pretty much blew the doors off them, even without having Becky Hammond for after because tonight or after at next game Becky Hammond returns from her suspension. Apparently, a stupid suspension where Dearica Hammond. Let's bro, I love her. I think she was a nice player for us, but I think she was spilling a lot of bullshit. That unfortunately got Becky Hammond suspended for 2 games.
Oh really?
Because like she apparently accused, like allegedly of like bullying, like during her pregnancy, which let's be real, I know that does not fucking happen. Like I said, I don't know Becky Hammond personally, but from what I've seen and from what I've been, read about her, like she's not that bad of a coach, and it's whatever, I guess.
Yeah, she can coach a squad. You're right. You're definitely right. Yeah,
and it's funny too.
Now
like,
does she push?
Now with having Candace
Does she
Parker
push
on
the envelope
team,
a little bit? Probably, but you have to with these athletes. That you can't be their best friend. You gotta understand that it is a business, and at the end, the grand scheme of it is to win a title. So, it sucks sometimes, but you're right.
But it's funny too when Becky Hammond comes back. This is the first time that both because we do have Candace Parker, because the last time these two played together, when the Aces were known as the San Antonio Stars. That should tell you.
Oh, that's a fucking long time ago.
That was 2017 is the last time before the rebrand to moved to Vegas and became what they know as the Las Vegas Aces.
So they rebranded and moved from state. They moved from one city to another.
So pretty much before the Aces became a thing, San Antonio had 2 basketball teams. You had the Spurs and the San Antonio Stars for the WNBA.
Oh, okay.
So now
I didn't know that.
And the Aces brought the first professional title to Las Vegas, which is actually could have been 2 if the Vegas Golden. Well, then again, you ran into a juggernaut. That was the Washington Capitals in 2018. I actually had the Vegas Golden Knights winning in their inaugural season that year.
Did you? Yeah. You thought they were going to go far?
I'm surprised they went to the Cup final in their first season. I'm surprised that they went far as they did in their first season.
Same here. I was very surprised. Although they had one of the best freaking drafts you could possibly have. They could handpick whoever they want from teams that allowed players to fall to them, right? So it was wow.
Fleury that year. But yeah, I mean the Washington. The Capitals actually had a really good team that year too with Alex Ovechkin. I'm surprised he looks older than it was like 34, 35, and he looks like he's like in his 40s.
He looks like he's in his 40s right now. Yeah, you're right. But yeah,
I mean at the end of the day, whether you like him or hate him, the dude's the first ballot Hall of Famer. Let's see it for what it is.
Oh yeah, I think he's going to break Wayne Gretzky's scoring record.
Touched.
He's going to break Wayne Gretzky's scoring record. He averages almost 50 goals a season. It's like fuck.
That's nuts.
And it just sucks though, because like the how it's always going to be spent, which it always is the draft year. Who came out with you? So it was Crosby first, then Ovechkin, and of course Crosby has the more cups than Ovechkin. But it's like Ovechkin
is more well decorated than Sidney Crosby.
Exactly, in the sense that like he scores more goals. He's got more Hart trophies. He's been a finalist for the MVP. Of course, Sidney Crosby has been too, but Crosby's success has been more team-based. They've won more cups versus been in the playoffs. But yeah, it's crazy, man. I think he's one of the best pure scorers in the NHL.
So right now, Alex Ovechkin is sitting right now in his career 822 career goals. The current one is 894.
Told you he's gonna beat it. He'll play 2 more years just to beat it. Watch, I guarantee it.
So in terms of the records, you have Wayne Gretzky at 1, Alex Ovechkin 2, Gordie Howe at number 3.
Yeah,
Jaromir Jagr. God, I forgot about him.
Yeah, Jagr just never stopped.
He played for 9 different teams in his career.
Yep.
Pittsburgh, Washington, the New York Rangers, Philly, Dallas, Boston, the Devils, Florida, and obviously your Calgary Flames.
Yep.
At 766, Brett Hull at number 7 or 5 at 741. I think you know him pretty well from his time for Calgary, for the Calgary Flames. Marcel Donine, he's at number 6.
Marcel Dion. Yeah.
Thank you. Because I really hate him.
It's all good. I got you.
He's right now. He's played throughout his career 1,348 games played, 731 goals, 1,040 assists. I don't. Oh, and scored 1,771 points. And has 234.
Penalty
it's funny
minutes.
too. I actually watched the thing with the interview with Gretzky. He said the biggest sport. I don't know how true this is. Like the biggest sport in Canada is lacrosse. Apparently,
yeah. A lot of people here in Canada love the game of lacrosse. Yeah, it's huge.
Number 7 is Phil Esposito.
Yep. Rest in peace, Phil.
Number 8 is Mike Gartner.
Damn.
Mark Messier.
Yep.
Steve Yzerman from the Detroit Red Wings at 692.
Steve Yzerman.
Yzerman. Yep. Mario Lemieux, very underrated player for when I remember. He only played 915 career games.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that retired too early.
Oh, good lord. Teemu Selanne.
Oh yeah, Timo Solani.
God, I fucking hate French Canadian names. God damn it. Well, that's why I think. Yeah,
that's Finnish. Timo Solani's Finnish, I think. He's from Finland. Yeah. Or Swedish, one of the two. Yeah.
It's all. I mean, let's see. In terms of the Canadian team of the NHL, you have Ottawa, you have Edmonton, Calgary, Toronto. Almost forgot about the Maple Leafs, probably the most cursed. Let's be real, the most cursed team in the NHL. But then again, we finally got rid of that. Who else am I missing?
Okay, so it goes from I'll go from West Coast all the way to East Coast. So West Coast, you got the British Columbia or the Vancouver Canucks. Sorry,
the Canucks.
And then you have the Edmonton Oilers.
Canuck? That's what I've always wondered what the hell's a Canuck. Someone asked me what's a Canuck? Like, how the hell should I know?
It's what Canadians call themselves, but back when the Indigenous people were around, they didn't know what an orca was, so they called it a Canuck.
Oh, okay.
So their logo is a Canuck, which is an abbreviated form from the Indigenous. I believe it's the Wet'suwet'en tribe. They called it Canuck, so they're on their land. So in order to honor them, they call themselves the Vancouver Canucks.
Right.
And then Edmonton Oilers, because we have oil rigs up here, and then the Calgary Flames, and then you go all the way over to Winnipeg, and then it's the Winnipeg Jets, and then you go to Montreal, it's Montreal Canadiens, and then down there is Toronto as well. So you got the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then you go over to Ottawa Senators. Yeah.
Man, that's fucking your guys are spoiled in terms of hockey up there.
Spoiled, but not in the sense that the Canadian team has not won the Stanley Cup since the late '90s.
Then I can't say the same for if you're a Montreal fan, because good lord, they have not won anything in a long time.
Yes, but they've won the most though, 24 cups in their history. That's a lot.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
Luke Robitaille.
That's Luke Robitaille.
Robitaille. That E really throws me off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's that like that proves your point. That one letter and some names like it just.
That's what I tried to say earlier. Yeah, you remember. Yeah, one letter could just fuck up the whole name for you if you don't know how to pronounce it.
For the LA Kings, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Detroit Red Wings, and the Rangers.
Yep.
Brendan Shanahan.
Yep. Ex-Red Wing.
This is before the Hartford. Okay, so the
Hartford Whalers.
Who they beat? Hang on, if I remember this correct, that did not become Colorado, did it?
Yeah. No. The Quebec Nordiques became the Colorado Avalanche.
Who did the Hartford Whalers? Who did they change into?
I don't even think they changed into anything. I think they just disappeared. They just died. They couldn't keep them around. Honestly, if my memory serves me correct, that was before I was born, so I don't know much about that history, but I know that the Quebec Nordiques are now the Colorado Avalanche because Joe Sakic was part of that team.
Yeah, I remember Mario Lemieux was a pain in the fucking ass against us. Fucking hell.
Yeah, he was good, man. Big body too.
Oh, that's right. They became the Carolina Hurricanes. That's who they became.
Okay, there we go. The Hurricanes. There we go. Okay.
And from what I've read about the Nordiques, that was Wait, where did the North? That was a
Quebec.
Shit. Quebec. Yeah, because from what I've read, like Quebec didn't have enough to sustain an NHL team from what I've read, and they
financially, yeah.
And they still kept. And it's crazy, dude. They still kept the same color scheme as the Nordiques.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah. Now Canada wants another team up here. They want
the Whalers became the Carolina Hurricanes, who got swept by the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup semifinals. But after that,
that's Gary Bettman for you. Gary Bettman wanting fucking teams where they don't need to be. Canada could have another 2 or 3 teams and it would survive up here because Canada just loves hockey. We just love it.
And you got Andre Chuck.
Oh, that's Dave Andrew. Yeah, Dave Andrew.
When Buffalo, Toronto, the Devils, the Colorado Avalanche, Boston, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, he won a cup with Tampa in 2004.
I think, and if I remember correctly, that was. Oh God, that was our current head coach. Fuck. It's bad enough I can't remember the head coach's name because I haven't really watched much Flyers.
Isn't your head coach Dave Hextall or no?
No, that's
Seattle, right? Seattle.
Oh, son of a bitch! Hang on. Oh, what the fuck's his name? Because we went through so many.
That's no. God, there's so many goddamn ex-players that are in the game now.
That's who. Torts.
John Torts. That's it. There we go. Torty.
That should tell you, like, how I've been out of the Flyers for so long. It's god awful. It's sad.
You guys got a good pick this year, and you guys could end up with somebody really good.
That's like our consistent pick in a row. We can't even tank properly. We cannot tank properly. The true Pistons who cannot tank properly.
I hear you, man. Fuck. I hear you. My Flames, the whole entire year we're battling for an 8th seed and we lost.
But now that ain't gonna fucking happen.
Yeah.
Fucking bastards. And Carter Gauthier, I know from what I've heard, he's been killing it at the college. So can't wait to see him play for us. So that's gonna be fun. But then again,
you guys need to build from the back end out. Get some good solid defensemen, and then
we're trying to get rid of the old Flyers. That's the thing. We've been so stuck in the ways of the Broad Street Boys in the 1970s. Like we have not really changed since. I mean, the other good coach we ever had was Peter Laviolette for a good period of time before he started his coaching style became out of it. Yeah, Mark.
I feel like Torts' coaching style sometimes can rub people the wrong way, especially outsiders, because he looks like he's a very angry, very don't
and it's funny too. We actually with this coach, we actually did go on a winning streak at one point under Torts. I think like a 4 or 5 game winning streak after that. And after that, when that winning streak came to a close, we pretty much became god awful. Nothing changes. But let's hopefully Danny Briere knows something, because I mean I would rather put my faith in Danny Briere, because let's be real, the dude's it was an underrated player for his time here in Philly as a undersized wing.
Yeah, especially when he came from Buffalo. I was a big Buffalo Sabres fan growing up, and he was on that team. And yeah, man, like,
and
Chris
people
Drury,
don't really too. I know Danny Briere may be undersized, but he can hit you with a ton of bricks.
And he was a good puck moving forward as well. He could put the puck in the net. He was good. I like Daniel Briere a lot.
But
he's your GM, right? He's your GM, right?
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So we're trying to get younger in the front office. Is basically we're trying to do go younger, basically.
Smart
with fresh ideas, because let's be the old Flyers way. Oh, geez,
muck and grind.
Fletcher hasn't done much. Chuck Fletcher hasn't done shit for us, and the rest of the Jesus.
That might be a failed attempt there. You might have to redo with that. Oh, Fletcher, look at what he did with the Maple Leafs. Look how long the Maple Leafs were, not really considered really great, even though they had Matt Sundin and they had Darcy Tucker and they had some good guys on that team. And
it's crazy too. Yeah. The Toronto might lose some of their key players. Yeah. We're going to see.
They might lose their GM. They might lose their GM to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Oh, Kyle Dubas might go to the Pittsburgh.
Isn't that's Ron Hextall? Yeah, that's right. Oh, well, it sucks to be Pittsburgh because Ron Hextall didn't do for a shit either. And
if you guys get Dubas, look, out. If Dubas goes to Pittsburgh, look out anybody in that division because he will make moves.
Yeah, would have been nice to have a guy like him to do stuff. But that's going to number 16 on the scoring list in terms of and this is coming from NHL.com. Joe Sakic.
Yeah.
Sakic. Obviously both with Colorado. But the originally his first team was the Quebec Nordiques.
Yep.
Jerome Ignala.
That's my favorite player of all time. Calgary Flames ex-captain Jerome Iginla.
He's also sitting out with 625 as well. Bobby Hull is at number 18. At 610. Dino Citarelli.
Dino Cincerelli.
That's how I usually.
Names are hard.
Italian names are not that hard to pronounce. It's usually like Finnish, Swedish, or French Canadian.
Yep. Or Russian.
Russian. Oh, don't get me started on that. You got Yari Curry up there with 601. Mark Recchi.
Or Recchi.
That's that fucking H, you son of a bitch.
Right? That's
that damn H.
He was a good flyer. He was a good flyer for you guys.
I forgot about it. I forgot about him. I should tell you. He has 577 career goals. Mike Bossy is up there, number 22 with 573. Patrick Marleau.
Yes, shout out to Patrick Marleau.
566. Oh, for the love of Christ. I'm going to say Joe N.
Nieuwendyk.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
That last team, that really fucked me.
All a bunch of letters. There's a W in there. There's a Y.
There's a unnecessary K in there.
Yeah, there's some E's.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Joe Nieuwendyk. A funny little story. Joe Nieuwendyk was actually traded for Jerome Iginla when the Dallas Stars drafted Jerome Iginla from the Kelowna Rockets. The Calgary Flames said, you know what, we'll trade. Or no, Calgary had Joe Nieuwendyk, and they're like, we'll trade you Joe Nieuwendyk for Jerome Iginla, and then lo and behold, Jerome Iginla ended up turning out to be one of the greatest Calgary Flames of all time.
Because Nieuwendyk played for Calgary, Dallas, the Devils, Toronto, and Florida in the Florida Panthers. Has 564 career goals. Matt Sundin, yep. Quebec, obviously Colorado, the Colorado Avalanche, Toronto, and Vancouver at 564.
Yep.
Mike Modano.
He's a really good American center.
561. Guy Lafleur.
Guy Lafleur. Yeah, that one even get there. Yeah, his name's Guy Lafleur.
Well, you just spelled with G-E, making it a lot simpler that way. I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh man, that's Sidney right. Desjardins and Leclerc. Who?
Sidney Crosby's 29th all time.
Wow, top 30. Holy shit.
Johnny Bucic, or Busek, I should say, from Detroit and Boston.
Johnny. Yeah, how do you say that? Boychuk?
Whatever it is.
Yeah, it's hard.
You have Ron Francis at number 30 at 549 behind Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
Michel Goulier.
Yep.
From Quebec and Chicago. Maurice Richard from Montreal.
Yeah, Maurice Richard, yeah. The trophy's named after him. The Richard Trophy. It's named after him.
That?
The Rocket Richard Trophy, the most goals scored.
The most goal. Okay. Because I'm thinking, there was another trophy I can't think of right now. It's the drop of my head. That's what's for the best goal? What the fuck's the best goalie one?
The Vezina.
Vezina. Thank you.
Yeah, the Vezina.
I've been out of touch with NHL for a long time.
And then the best defensive player that doesn't get many penalties, has like the lowest penalty minutes, but still has a good plus minus, is called the Selke. You win the Selke Award.
Yeah, Stan Mikita.
Yes, good old Stan Mikita. He was a fighter though too, man. That guy could...
with 926 assists, 1,467 career points, 150 power play goals.
Yep, PP points. Yep.
Keith Tiachuk.
Oh, Keith Tkachuk. That's Matthew Tkachuk's dad.
Son of a God, get rid of the fucking T.
And then remember his brother plays for the Senators. He Matthew Tkachuk's brother, Brady Tkachuk. So there's another one.
Dad, talk about having been a part of a good hockey family.
Good genes, right? Yeah. Yep.
He has 538 career goals. Frank Mahalovich.
Oh yes, good old Frank Mahalovich. Yeah. Oh,
like I said, there goes the Russians.
Those good names, man.
At 533, Marian Hossa.
Oh, Marian Hossa.
Yeah. Honestly, another team I think need to bring back is the Atlanta Thrashers. I actually
that's the team that he came from. Yeah.
I remember I used to own his rookie card, if I remember second. And I fucking lost him years ago. I was like, son of a bitch.
Remember Rick Nash?
Oh, Rick. Oh, that's a name I have not heard that in years.
Danny Heatley.
Oh, this is what the Atlanta Thrashers, man. That team was. That franchise was just super underrated. Just wish they went out. It's sad they went the way out the way they did.
Yes, because they had Eli Kovalchuk as well.
He was good players.
Yeah, and some defensemen as well. Like they could just never ever put it together to be a winning culture. You're right. Yeah, and their jerseys were awful. Sorry, their jerseys were awful.
Yeah, that is true. I can see that, but the logo was actually not that bad.
No, the logo was nice. It was the color combo that was horrible. It was like burgundy and dark blue with like
no.
Ugh.
That just, I cannot just. Oh God, I can imagine that. Brian Trottier is number 37 at 5.
Brian Trottier, yeah, he's an icon.
Pat Verbeek. Dale Hawerchuk.
Dale Hawerchuk.
I forgot he usually played for the Flyers because that was in his later years.
Remember? Yeah.
At 518, Steve Stamkos is number 40.
Stammer's a good goal. He's a good goal scorer too. I like Stamkos a lot.
515, you have Pierre Turgeon.
Yeah. He played good for the Stars. I liked him when he played with the Dallas Stars.
Because he played with Buffalo, New York, the Islanders, Montreal, St. Louis.
The Blues, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Why do I keep forgetting the Blues is a fucking
where Keith Tkachuk comes from? Keith Tkachuk was a St. Louis Blue.
Right. I forget the Blues even exist as a hockey team.
They won a cup a couple years ago here.
Like I said, that should tell. I've been out of touch with hockey for a long time.
It's all good, man. That's
I've been out of touch with hockey for over a decade because after we blew a 3-1 lead to the fucking goddamn Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, I remember that series. I remember that.
Also, and finished his career with Colorado.
I'm sorry, wasn't that the series where your goalie said he was only afraid of Bears? I believe that was the series where Eli Brizgalov said, he was asking an interviewer, "Are you afraid of the Chicago Blackhawks?" And he was like, "No, I'm only afraid of Bears."
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
And then people started showing up in bear uniforms dressed as bears. Remember? It was hilarious.
Oh, yeah, that was. That's when you saw had a prime Patrick Kane, a prime Jonathan Toews.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how it was pronounced. I always said Toews.
Yeah, no, it's Taze. Jonathan Taze. You had a prime Patrick Kane, Keith. The defenseman Duncan Keith. They had a Brett Seabrook. Christ, they had everywhere and anywhere, man. They had Christopher Stieg who could put up points.
So
I could think of so many players on that team. That was a good team. You guys ran into a good team there.
And in 2009 that season, they went 52 wins, 22 losses, and 8 draws?
That would have been 8 ties.
Overtime. Yeah.
That overtime, yeah.
They went 52, 22, and 8, which combined for 112 points, which is first in the Central Division. And the roster contained roster. You had Cam Barker, Brian Bickell, Dave Ball, and Nick Boyan. Patrick Kane, Duncan Keith, Kim Johansson, Cristobal Hewitt, Marion
Cristobal
Hossa.
Hewitt. That's right. That's right. They had Hossa. Yep.
Nicholas Halmarson.
Nicholas Hjalmarsson. It's a really hard name to pronounce. He's got an H at the front of it, right?
Yeah, stinking.
Yeah. The defenseman. Yeah.
Most of that team is fucking Canadian.
Yeah.
Only two Americans. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 Americans. The Americans: Adam Burrish, Dustin Perfugulin.
Yeah, Dustin Bufflin. Yeah.
Jake Dell and Patrick Kane. Your Canadians: Cam Barker, Brian Bickell, Dave Ballin, Nick Boyton, Troy Brewer.
Yep.
Troy
Bauer.
Campbell,
Troy
Brower. That freaking news freaking screws me. Brian Campbell, Corey Crawford, Ben Eager, Andrew Abbott, Colin Fraser, Jordan Hendry, and Duncan Keith. Andrew Ladd, John Madden, not the football John Madden.
Yeah.
Brent Seabrook, Patrick Sharp, Brent Supel, Jonathan
Jonathan Taze.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I forgot about that. That's right. Patrick Sharp was another good goal scoring guy for them as well. I forgot about that.
Versteeg. So yeah, 1,
and
2,
Chris
3,
Versteeg, yeah.
7, 8.
I'm serious. Go look at any team that's ever won a Stanley Cup, and I'm telling you right now, maybe out of the last 20 years, maybe only 2 or 3 teams, but for the most part, it's all Canadians on the team. Like there was a joke made a couple years back where it said, "No win a Stanley Cup unless your team is made up of more Canadians." Like it's no slide. I'm not trying to be arrogant, but it's so funny because the more Canadians you have on your team, it seems like you have a better chance at winning a cup.
Yeah, I mean you have a couple Croatian. I think that'd be Croatian. I think it's Marion Hossa. That sounds Croatian to me. No.
Who?
Is that Marion? Is it Marion Hossa Croatian?
Marion Hossa? No, he's oh shoot.
Sounds Slavic.
Hold up.
Hang on, let me. Because right now I'm on hockey. Yeah, he's from the Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you ain't wrong. It depends on who you're asking. I could see that. But yeah, Marion Hossa.
Slow.
You get ready?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, Slovakian. Yeah.
I figured something sounds like Slavic.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Yeah, like
right.
Shoot, Eric Lindros. Look how good Eric Lindros was until his head injuries.
The enforcer, from what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
The size.
God, such a huge human being.
And that is true. And Steve brought up a good point. He's a caller out Avalanche. I can see that. I mean, you guys, some Canadians. You got. Well, then again, it just seems like the Canadians actually are more fundamentally sound than the Americans. I really hate to say that.
Well, and also too, like this is no slide on anybody that's from the U.S. versus being Canadian, but the government, and not only just the government, but people all around Canada, they fund hockey more than any other sport. And I know in the U.S. NFL, like football, is a big time thing, right? So it's a bit different when it comes up here versus down there. So yeah.
But outside of Pierre Turgeon, you had Jeremy Roenick. Oh wow, forgot about him. He's another player that I completely forgot. At 5'13".
He was a scrapper.
Scrapper. I remember that. Gilbert. I'm trying to think because his name is French. Gilbert Perriol. He played for Buffalo. Oh God, I can't. Okay. Yeah, which is crazy enough. Randy, can you good over there?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I thought you cut out for a minute.
I did for a second.
It's Gilbert Perriol. Oh God, I hate French names. Used to play for Buffalo at 512 goals. You know what I'm talking about? Nope. And there goes.
Also, but what I'm saying is, if you go and you look at all the rosters, Canadians involved, like Brendan Shanahan, Steve Yzerman, without them two on the goddamn Red Wings, you could say Nicholas Lidstrom would have carried them, but once those boys left, the teams are never the same either. So,
yeah, it just seems like hockey. But yeah, so number 44 is Sean Beliveau.
Really?
Yeah, at 507 from Montreal.
Sean Bell. Oh, okay, yeah, Bell. Okay, yeah. Now we're starting to get into names that I'm like trying to remember. Wow.
Peter Bondra, he played for Washington, Ottawa, the Atlanta Thrashers, and the Blackhawks at 503 goals.
Bondra was good. Yeah, I like Peter
Number
Bondra.
46 is Joe Mullen.
I don't remember Joe Mullen.
He started out with St. Louis, then went to Calgary, played for Pittsburgh and Boston. At 502 goals. Landon McDonald finished his career in Calgary.
Yeah, I remember that guy. He's on commercials up here all the time. Selling
crazy.
Cars. Come to Laddie's World if you want to buy a car. Come to Laddie's World.
That's crazy. Number 48 is Glenn Anderson at 498 career goals. Sean Rattel at number 48. Or 49, exactly. I should say. At 491. And Norm Ullman is number 50 at 490. Oh, whoa, wait. There's more. Holy shit, there's more. Well, right now that's on the big names. Evgeny Malkin's number 57 on the.
That's Evgeny Malkin. Evgeny Malkin, yeah, for the Penguins. Malkin. For the Penguins, yeah.
Yep. Patrick Kane is 63rd on the list. That's 451.
Yeah.
Jeff Carter. I fucking missed that dude.
Yes, good old Jeff Carter and Mike Richards.
Yeah.
Remember them? Yeah, you remember those two guys?
With Chris Pronger.
Yeah.
Oh, God. No, this is not the year we had Ray Emery, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you had Emery at that point. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Zach Parise is actually on this list at number 81. Good
player as well. Absolutely good player.
John Tavares, he's on here at number 84.
Johnny T, yep.
Patrice Bergeron both at 427. Brian Propp. Oh, God, another Flyers legend over there.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, he follows me on Twitter, actually.
Really?
Yeah, surprisingly. Or actually, Instagram, actually.
Wow. That's
here's another name I have not heard in years. Vincent LeCavalier. Oh, my God.
Good old Vinny.
To
anybody that wants to go back in time and watch a really good, maybe I think it was 5 minutes tops, but the 2004 Stanley Cup Finals, Calgary Flames versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, Jerome McGinley and Vincent LeCavalier actually fight in the Stanley Cups. They go fist to fist. This would have been
the early 2000s?
It was 2003, 2004.
I remember that.
That was insane because back then you didn't really fight in the Stanley Cup because it just meant so much to take a penalty, right? But yeah, that was crazy when they dropped the gloves and they went at it. I was like, "Go Iggy!"
Another Flyers legend, Bill Barber, he's up there as well, number 92. Phil Kessel's actually up there as well. He's at number 98 at 413.
Yeah, guy loves his glizzies plus putting pucks in that.
And Corey Perry's up there is number 94.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the best in front net players. Him and Ryan Getzlaf when they won the Stanley Cup with the Anaheim Mighty Ducks was pretty special.
Let's see who else did Paul Coffey. I do not remember him playing for the Flyers at all.
You want to know something funny? Ryan Getzlaf, the center that played in the NHL, his brother plays in the CFL for the Saskatchewan.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, he used to, not anymore now. He's retired now, but yeah, he plays for Saskatchewan.
And Kopitar is actually up there at 115.
Kopitar's a good goal scorer. Yeah, Anze Kopitar.
Let's see. Eric Lindros. I had figured he was going to be up here one way or the other.
Yeah,
272 career goals.
He would have had more, man, if the concussions, honest.
Yeah. Brad Marchand's number 132.
Yeah.
Jonathan Tays is number 133.
Yeah, he wasn't much of a goal scorer versus actually just being a good, solid two-way center.
Jamie Benn, who unfortunately got suspended.
Oof. That was a bad.
You saw that.
Stone. Yeah.
Hey, Bobby Clark, the most dirtiest player. I remember from what my grandfather told me, the most dirtiest guy on the Flyers. He played dirty from what my grandfather, and that was from my grandfather's time in the 70s.
Really, eh?
At 358.
Wow.
Yeah, we still got Torts. I think this could be his final years if he does decide to, because he's kind of hinting retirement when he's done coaching.
Wow.
Jeff Sanderson. That's another one I don't remember.
Jeff. And that's Geoff Sanderson, right?
Yeah, he played for Hartford or the current Carolina Hurricanes. Yep. Speaking of that, Vancouver, Buffalo, Columbus, the Phoenix. That's should have been the Arizona Coyotes, which even though that's and Edmonton finish up career was Edmonton.
That's actually Arizona, or the Coyotes were originally in Phoenix, and then they moved to Arizona. Yeah, they've been trying to find a home forever.
First of all, just get them out of there, because I mean,
yes, bring them back here.
Or at least move them back up. Or the question is, where are you going to put them?
Christ, I guess because I don't live out east, I live out west in Canada, so I don't know what goes on.
So you have
but out east, Rob, there's an arena that is built, and it can sit 12 to 16,000 people, I believe. And when the rumors started to speculate that the Arizona owner was potentially looking at Canadian buyers, that was where they're thinking of bringing them back.
I know that. Trust me. Ever since Ed Snyder passed away, this team has not been the same ever since. God rest that man's soul. That he's pretty much rolling his grave on just how bad this team has been in the last few years. Forgot about Premio. I forgot about him. Lindros, I remember. The dude was an icon in Philly throughout the 2000s.
Yeah, what was Primo's first name though? Because he's got a son too, Hayden Primo. He's a goalie. But yeah, Primo, he played even for the Calgary Flames too.
Hey, nice. Claude Giroux is up there on the scoring list.
Yeah, he's still playing.
Yeah, sucks. Senators.
He's home.
Oh, that's right. He is from Ottawa, isn't he? I forgot about that. Yeah, still gonna be all-time Flyers great at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Even though it sucks, we had to fucking trade his ass, but we had to and unfortunately, we still had to deal with we brought in Ryan Braun. Oh,
the defenseman Braun. Yeah,
Braun, we had to deal with with some of these other older fucking players that can't stay goddamn healthy to save their lives. Scott Hartnell.
I remember Scott Hartnell. Yes, Scott Hartnell. I remember that guy.
Siega was actually up there with 326 and number 183.
Yeah, he's a gritty player. I like his style. Yeah.
Paul McLean.
Ooh, Paul McLean. Shit. Yeah, I think he's a coach or something.
Logan Couture.
Logan Couture. Yeah, with the Sharks.
The Sharks have not been the same in what feels like years.
They have been the same since they went on that Stanley Cup run, and then they could never get away from it when they lost Joe Thornton.
We do have it's still currently playing elsewhere. Well, no, that we drafted was Cutter Gauthier, but I don't know exactly who we have. It's been like I said, I don't follow don't follow hockey as much as the next person, which I'm just a casual hockey fan. Blake Wheeler is actually number 205 on the scoring list.
Blake Wheeler?
Yeah, right now with Winnipeg.
Yeah. He's a good scorer. Same with Mark Scheifele.
I don't remember this dude. Petra Navidad.
Who?
Petr and his
Peter. Peter. Oh, Peter Nedved. Peter Nedved. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
I do not remember him playing for the Flyers at all. I do not remember that. Danny Briere, obviously I know
obviously,
that. Dude, yeah. Bob Nevin's actually up there as well.
Oh, Nevin. Where are we at right now? What rank?
210.
210. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Leon
Leon Draisaitl?
Draisaitl, yeah.
Yeah, he plays with Connor McDavid right now.
And he's up there. And speaking of Connor McDavid, he's at 214 at 30 with 303 career goals.
Damn.
Evander Kane's up there. Dave Pasternak. Hey, JVR.
Oh, hey. There we go. Doesn't he play with Columbus right now? I think he still plays. I'm pretty sure he's still playing. JVR. Because he was with Toronto. And then he went.
He's with us right now. Or actually, no.
Is he with you guys?
His current team is the Flyers, but he was a former Maple Leaf.
Oh, okay, so he came back to you guys. He came back home. He's a good power forward. I like him. He's a big boy.
And it's crazy enough. We've been trying to freaking move on from him because he's old as fuck. He's at 34.
You like Draisaitl, Steve? Do you think he's better than Connor McDavid?
David Perron is actually up on here at 227.
Ooh, a Perot's up there. Nice.
Austin Matthews from Toronto is up there.
From Toronto, yeah. Good American.
Paul Stastny.
Another American. Well, he's bilingual because his Paul Stastny, his dad Peter Stastny played in the league as well.
TJ Oshie's up on this list as well, 234.
I like TJ Oshie. I think he just did he not just re-sign with
I know his current team is Washington.
Yeah, the Capitals. Yeah.
Simone Gagne, God,
Simone Gagne, yes.
Dude was a hard hitter.
Yes.
Peter Malovich is on here twice.
Really?
Peter Malovich, he played with Detroit, Montreal, and Pittsburgh. That's going to be interesting.
That's the question. Yeah, that's what.
You always got to have that complimentary piece.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what a lot of people. Because I live in Leduc, which is a half hour outside of Edmonton, so I know when it comes to what people around here are saying, and a lot of fans are saying if Draisaitl leaves, we'll know the true value of McDavid.
Nathan McKinnon is actually up on this list at 241.
I love Nathan McKinnon, even though he killed my Flames last year. I love Nathan McKinnon. Love him. I also like Gabriel Landeskog. I also like who's the other good goal scorer on that team? Why am I drawing a blank? How many goals does Max Domi have? He should be on that list.
Max, what was his teams?
Well, right now he's on Dallas.
And how's his name?
Maxdomi. His dad, Ty Domi, played for the Leafs.
He is
Ratinen. That's it. Yes, Mikko Ratinen. That's it. Thanks, Steve.
And he hasn't been in the league that long. Max Domi, is he?
Max Domi,
he's been
7 years,
goals,
6 years.
He's 121 career goals.
Oh, okay, so not a lot then. Okay, never mind.
He's a Winnipeg boy.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, he's older than me by 3 years. Shit, or 2 years actually.
And answer Cauldron of Stardust. The Stasnys were from Czechoslovakia. That's right. They did escape during the bad era there, and they actually came up to North America. He's got dual citizenship. He can play for Team Canada and he can play for USA
that's great.
Czechoslovakia if he wanted to. But he considers himself Canadian American Canadian type thing.
So 2 more active players and 261 Nikita Kucherov.
Yeah.
From Tampa Bay at 267. Jordan Stahl. Now,
Nikita Kucherov. Yeah.
I know. I caught myself there from. I did not know that Landeskog's going to miss the entire next season. Apparently,
yeah, he missed most of this season too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh man,
that's what I was saying. Yeah, you should know his dad very well because of the penalty box issue.
Yeah,
that fan, I'm sure he still feels it.
Mark. Oh Jesus. Scheifele
Mark Scheifele plays for the Winnipeg Jets.
at 272. Nicholas Backstrom at 271.
Capitals, yep.
Vladimir Tarasenko
With the Rangers now, yep.
Oh, Jesus. Mika
Zibanejad?
Thank you. Fucking hell.
And with the Rangers as well.
Yeah, 268. Chris Kunitz is actually on there as well.
Chris Kunitz, yeah, he was a big part
Keith
for
Primeau. There he is.
Keith Primeau. There it is.
Primeau.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's right. He actually did play. Yeah, I forgot he actually was he ended his career in Philly. He had 266 career goals. Yeah, Chris Kreider.
Yeah, good player too.
Patrick Hornquist.
That's another good player.
Taylor Hall is above him at 291 and 260, both at 264.
Wow.
Nicholas Lindstrom. Oh God, I've not heard that name in years.
Same here. Holy.
Detroit 264. Wayne Simmons. God.
Oh, good old Wayne Simmons. There's a name for you.
Was a solid player for us before we traded him away to the Predators.
Yeah, and then now he's on Toronto, and he couldn't even make a roster this year.
Come back home.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
I love him. I love Wayne Simmons.
He's a really nice goal scorer for us.
And gritty. He could play a hard forecheck.
Oh, he is gritty as hell. As gritty as they come. So other actors.
I think you're right, Stardust. I think you're right. I think Primeau did score the game-winning goal in that 5 overtime game against Pittsburgh. I think you're right. Because I remember him losing his mind and them saying like, "Oh, Pittsburgh just, gave him hope or whatever."
And
but
Toronto native too, Keith Primeau. 6'5", 220.
Whew, fuck. Is that a linebacker or is that a hockey player? Like, Jesus. Holy fuck, man. On skates, too.
I mean, think about it. 1989 to 1990, second team OHL. He has second most goals and also holds the record with 57 in the OHL. Eddie Powers, Memorial Trophy leading scorer winner in the OHL, played as an all-star in the NHL. Yannick Dupree, Memorial winner. Won the Toyota Cup in 2002.
Nice.
And 03-04 played the 2004 All-Star game. So I'm surprised he did not won a Stanley Cup at all.
You know what? You look at that list, Rob, of like the top goal scorers, and you'd be very surprised at some of the names on there that don't have a ring. You're like, what? Like,
it is surprising.
It is.
And the one record he holds right to this day, May 5th, 2000, and the longest game in modern NHL playoff history with this goal at 92 minutes and 1 second of overtime. That's the record. Another game played, basically. Wow. You play 3 quarters, then you play another 4 quarters. Like, that is fucking honestly. If Primeau if Keith Primeau was in his prime years, I think he could have been a linebacker in football of his size. 6'5", 200. Wait, hockey players are not built like that nowadays. No, now it's speed. Now it's all about speed. Yep. But Stardust has a good point here. He's like, do you remember who Pittsburgh goalie was in that game? Because I do. It was Marty Turco. When was the last time you heard that name? That is true. Marty Turco. Yeah. It's been a minute. That's been a hot minute for a lot of older Flyers fans. Yeah, I remember Marty Turco when he played for the Dallas Stars and he had Ed Belfour as his backup. I mean, Belfour was for us. I mean, was Ray Emery, Briskalov, Sergei Bobrovsky, even though it's good for him to see him in the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm just going to be pissed. If he wins one, I'm going to be pissed off a little bit, but I'm going to be happy for him at the same time. Right, yeah. It was a solid goaltender. I mean, not going to lie. I mean, I do like Carter Hart. I think we have done a really good job of developing Carter Hart because we have a tendency to rush prospects like it's nothing. I love Carter Hart. You guys let him go. That's going to be the biggest mistake. Oh, trust me. We fucked up by buying out Oscar Lindblom after he kicked Cancer's ass. That's how bad it was. Yeah, so that happened. Yeah. Kick a guy while he's down, why don't you? Ryan O'Reilly, currently right now at 256 with Toronto. Yeah. Andrew Ladd with Arizona. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he hasn't played in
a handful of years. His contract just keeps getting traded.
Speaking of Landeskog, he's up there as well, 336, 248 career goals.
Hey, Cauldron, do you remember Mika Kiprasov? That was my favorite goalie. Mika Kiprasov. I loved it. Apparently, the guy after games would be spotted in nightclubs drinking a big tall bottle of whiskey while smoking a pack of cigarettes.
Hey, Brent Burns is up here currently.
Ooh, he's playing for Carolina right now.
Yep.
Well, sorry, they got eliminated last night.
Yeah, swept. Alexander Barkov.
Yeah, Florida player. I like
number
Barkov.
351, Nazem Kadri.
Yeah, we just signed him to a big contract last year.
Oh, Steve also brought up another name, Dominic.
What did I tell you when I said I was a big fan of the Buffalo Sabres? Dominic Hasek was the reason why I was a big fan, because that guy's playing style. Unbelievable. I'm lurking. Awesome. Hey. Yeah, that's cool. Sweet.
Brock Nelson with the Islanders at 241 in career goals.
He's been a very underrated goal scorer, I think, in the sense that because he's been with the Islanders his whole career. So
yeah, 758 career games played.
Not bad, not bad.
Anders Lee from the Islanders as well, his teammate.
Anders Lee, yeah.
And Braden Shen. Oh, God, no, I missed it. He was actually not bad for us, actually.
Oh, yeah. Didn't you guys have the younger Shen? That's right, before you got rid of him and sent him?
Yeah, we shipped him out to St. Louis, apparently.
Yeah. And then he ended up winning a cup.
Yeah, which fucking pissed me off. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's so brutal.
Trust me, Philly sports always has been brutal. Every time someone leaves here, they always have find success elsewhere. Patrick Roy's actually a really nice, solid player as well.
Patrick Roy, one of the best goalies of all time.
Number 369, Philip Forsberg for the Nashville Predators at 239 career goals. And Adam Henrique's at 371, with also at 239.
Adam Henrique?
Yep.
Oh, wow, man, that's an old Devils player I forgot about for a while.
Cam Atkinson with us, even though the fact we even got him was like, what?
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's quick. He's a real quick guy.
Yeah, and then a torch guy too, which is fantastic. And he's at 236 overall, 383 overall.
Yes, Patrick Roy is the GOAT.
Ryan Nugent Hopkins is actually up on this list at 393.
He might be a free agent next year or this year. He might not be with the team.
He's played 801 career games for the Edmonton Oilers overall. Johnny Gaudreau at 397.
Yeah.
Could have had him. Fucking bad. Because the front office didn't want him.
I do not understand why he didn't go home to either the Devils or the goddamn Flyers. I don't get it.
Hey, that's Chuck Fletcher for you. And that was during Chuck Fletcher's tenure. Had Johnny Hockey in your fucking hands. And it's like,
yep.
This team could have been a lot. Having him and Cam Atkinson on the ice under torch. Oh, boy.
We've been put some pucks in the net. Yep, for sure.
Yeah. Miljan Lucic.
Oh, Miljan Lucic. Yeah. Luch, as we like to call him up here.
Man, overall played 1,173 career games, 233 career goals. David Krejci from the Boston Bruins, over 1,000 games played just for the Boston Bruins. Let's see other active players, because right now we're in the Kyle Okposo.
Kyle Okaposo, yeah.
Yep, right now with Buffalo.
He just actually re-signed today with Buffalo for 2 more years.
That's crazy. Tyler Toffoli. Oh, God, I'm really hoping I'm not pronouncing that wrong.
Tyler Toffoli? No, that's right.
Yeah, from Calgary.
Yeah.
Brandon Saad is number.
Brendan Saad. Yeah. That was another Chicago Blackhawk that was good during their Stanley Cup run.
Yeah. Steve Duchesne. Oh, God, I haven't heard that name as a Flyer in quite a whole.
Yeah,
Steve Duchesne. Right. He went with the Kings, the Flyers, the Quebec Nordics, St. Louis, Ottawa, and finished up his career with Detroit.
Forgot about Steve Duchesne. That's right. Yeah. Holy crap.
Shea Weber's up on this list at 428.
Yep. Good defenseman.
Jacob Voracek. Right now, I think with Columbus at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think he played last year. I think he had concussion issues as well.
Yeah, he couldn't stay. He was the one guy on the Flyers couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Which is, dude had so much potential. It just cannot play a healthy season.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. He had so much potential.
Mikko Rantanen, he's already on this list as well at number 436.
Yeah, Mikko Rantanen's no slouch. He's a good goal scorer too.
At 220 career goals and 490 games with the Colorado Avalanche.
Damn.
And other active players, you have Braden Point from the Tampa Bay, Sebastian Aho, Mike Hoffman.
Mike Hoffman.
And Sean Monahan.
Yeah, the two gentlemen there you just mentioned, Hoffman and Monahan, they're on the latter end of their careers. Monahan hasn't stayed healthy for God knows how many years. That's why the Flames actually traded him to Montreal. And then Hoffman, similar situation as well. Kind of sucks.
Yeah, he's with Montreal. Currently right now it's his current team.
Yeah.
Then you also have Brian Little from Atlanta and Winnipeg.
Oh, I forgot about Brian Little. That's right. Yeah.
Artemi Panarin.
Yeah.
Panarin. Right now, currently with the Rangers.
Yep.
216 career goals. Kyle Palmieri's up on this list as well from the Islanders.
Kyle Palmieri, wow.
For 216 career goals. Derek Brassard.
Good center, not a great one, but a serviceable center. Yeah.
And of course, he's with us, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Foligno or Ligno.
Nick Foligno. Yeah, Nick Foligno. Yeah.
Jonathan Huberdeau.
Jonathan Huberdeau.
God, I had a dyslexic moment there. I actually switched that R in his name and put it right behind between the A and the U. He's at 213 career goals. Yeah,
he had an off year last year with Calgary. A lot of rumors said it was Daryl Sutter, not a great coach.
Tomas Tatar is up on this list at 472. Yeah. Right now, Kurt with the Devils. Kyle Connor with Winnipeg at 477 on the list at 209 career goals and 66 games played with the Winnipeg Jets.
Damn.
Bo Horvat for the Islanders.
Yep, good old Bo.
I know they gave him a bag. I know the Islanders gave him a bag.
They gave him a bag, yes.
I know NHL hockey players do not make much at all in that sport. Overall play 651 career games, 208 career goals.
Not bad.
Nino
Niederreiter.
Yeah. He's up on that list at number 497. Right now, current with Nashville at 205 goals and 810 career games played.
Jesus.
It's Tomas Hertl, actually. I'm sorry.
Tomas. Oh shoot! I got a phone call. I got to take, Rob. I got to bounce here. But if you're on when I come back, cool. If not, then we'll chat later.
So the last person I want to go over is Elias Lindholm. So that'll get a little bit of hockey in there. But Randy, man, it was a pleasure having you on, and shout out to Mitchell's up here as well. That being said, we're going to wrap it up here. Going to see you guys later on at 6:00 for the It's Really podcast. That being said, have a great the rest of your afternoon, everybody.